What's the story, folks? Welcome back to Gaelic Games Fan TV. It is Kerry against Derry in the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship semi-finals, and myself and Matthew Hurley from the Gaelic Statsman is here to obviously watch the game, react to the game live. Obviously, big match, of course, like yesterday, All-Ireland semi-final. It doesn't get much bigger than this for the likes of Kerry and Derry. Obviously, Kerry, the reigning All-Ireland champions, looking to get back into the All-Ireland final. Derry, on the other hand side, looking to get to their first All-Ireland final since 1993, if memory serves me correctly there. So absolutely huge for both sets of counties. And I suppose, first of all, Matthew, how are you? And are you excited for this game? I mean, it's going to be an interesting game. We were chatting off air. Maybe it mightn't be the most entertaining. So we might need the chat to maybe keep us entertained throughout. But yeah, like I suppose, look, it's an All-Ireland semi-final. And to be fair, like that usually brings a lot of excitement in itself.
It does, in fairness, yeah, Aaron, and thanks for having me on again. Yeah, it's a weird one. Like I was saying to John McMahon during the week of my podcast, like either way, this game is going to be very, very poor because, like if it's a tight game, Derry will park behind the ball and basically park the bus. But if it's Kerry that's run away with us, then and David Clifford produce a masterclass, then it's not going to be a contest. Then, so my consensus is it's not going to be a good game today. I hope I'm wrong, to be honest with you, but. Then again, I thought it'd be a pretty bad game yesterday, and look what happened. It was a decent game up until maybe 60 minutes. Dublin started to pull away, and then Monaghan started to wilt eventually. But I thought Monaghan would be gone early on in that game. So who's to know? Like Derry could put up a challenge today, but I hope they will, but I don't think they will, Aaron, unfortunately. And yeah, I'd say Kerry should win this easily, and David Clifford should get another hat trick maybe in this game.
Absolutely. Yeah, obviously, Han says here, score prediction, Derry 2-8, Kerry 1-15. Yeah, I suppose for anyone who is tuning in, like, let us know your predictions of what you think will happen. But you're thinking Kerry by how much? Maybe 3, 4, 5? Like, I think it'll be maybe 5 or 6 in total. I think Derry. I think it could very well be a similar game to yesterday. Like, I think Derry will frustrate Kerry for large parts. They'll get in their faces. They'll keep the ball for large parts. But I think Kerry will just about edge it in the end with, as he said, like the brilliance of Clifford, Sean O'Shea, Adrian Spillane, who was very good the last day as well. Like, they do have a lot of ways to hurt this Derry side. And do Derry have enough ways to hurt Kerry? I'm not so sure.
No, not at all. Let's say Shane McGuigan's the main guy there. And if Kerry put on Jason Foley, who had a storm over there, and Darren McCurry last day, it could end in tears for Derry. I think the best of hope for Derry really is to put men behind the ball and obviously make it a most boring game as possible. But when you look at Kerry, David Clifford didn't have his best day the last day. They still hammered Tyrone. So I think they're hitting form at the right time. And yeah, I'd say Kerry should win the game. But Derry, I think Conor Glass needs to perform. Like a few lads at the JMAC podcast said, he hasn't performed in Croke Park. Today is the day to do that. If he doesn't do that, then Kerry will run asunder on them. But what I will say, the midfield battle is going to be very interesting because Dermot O'Connor did very well the last day. Jack Barry did well enough against Tyrone as well, but Brendan Rodgers and Conor Glass are being touted as probably the best midfield duo in the country. Let's see how they come up against Dermot O'Connor and Jack Barry today. So it should be interesting. And as well as that, Derry wilted against Galway last year. Let's see if there's a fight in them against Kerry today. But it should be an interesting game in that sense. But to be honest, I'm not holding out much hope, Aaron, to be honest with you. I think Derry might park behind the ball. It should be about... It'll be similar to last year's semi-final between Derry and Galway and the game between Dublin and Donegal. I'm sure you were there booing the Donegal players, Aaron, that time. So I'm sure you'll be booing the Derry players this time round too.
Yeah, John says here, hi anyone in the chat, will you like and subscribe to the channel? So much appreciated there, John, for getting on the ball there. And yeah, I suppose if anyone could like and subscribe, that would be absolutely brilliant. And yeah, as you said there, like you would expect Derry to sit in, you would expect them to be defensive. Like obviously we've seen Donegal do something similar, through their glory years, and that's kind of a similar principle under Derry. Like obviously, I know Rory Gallagher isn't the manager anymore, but obviously he was a part of Jim McGuinness's backroom team during 2014, 2012, and everything else. And this Derry side probably come from that same philosophy. So it's going to be interesting, but just looking on screen, like an RT, they're talking about the matchup of Clifford against McCaig. Like it'd be interesting to see if that is the matchup, but like that's one hell of a matchup, isn't it? Like just looking at it, like McCaig, one of the best man markers in the game. We've seen him in the past mark the likes of Darren McCurry, keep him quiet. Patrick McBrearty, remember, in the Ulster final last year. He's hell of a man marker, but Clifford is hell of a footballer. So, Jesus, this is going to be some battle between them two.
It is, and some people on social media actually say McCaig is the best man marker in the country, which, okay, it's your opinion, but I think he's getting relatively slept on in the last few weeks. Like this season alone, he's kept Conor McManus and Stephen Sherlock scoreless of play this season. So, like, he's a guy that if you get someone on him, he's going to do a job on him. I'm not sure Clifford's a whole new level to McManus, 30-year-old McManus and Sherlock. But still, it's going to be tough for Clifford too. I think it's going to be the toughest challenge for both their careers. It's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that pressure. But then again, like Clifford was up against Hampsey the last time. We were talking about Hampsey being so good against them, and in the end, Clifford, okay, he got off. I think it was 10 shots. He hit 9 wide from play, but still, he was getting off them shots, and we didn't think he would. And he obviously produced that moment of magic for the Sean O'Shea goal. So it's going to be interesting to see how McKay closes them down today. I'm not sure, was he on Galway's main man last year? I'm trying to remember. I think he was on Finnerty last season. So I don't know why Derry actually chose to do that last season. But you'd imagine Conor McCluskey won't be on Clifford. Like, the story with him on minor level. Clifford scored 4-4 off him, and McCluskey's usually a player that goes forward. So I don't think that's going to happen. McAvoy, like, it's going to be a big challenge for McAvoy if he goes on Clifford. Like, he's a 19-year-old, so I doubt that's going to happen as well. So I would imagine McCaig's going to go on him, and it's going to be a big challenge for McCaig as well, and probably the most challenging in his long career.
Absolutely. I suppose what we'll do is we'll have a look at both teams, and then we'll see if there's any late changes. I'm not too sure if there has been any late changes yet, but we'll see if there is any. So this is the Kerry side, obviously, that was named to start. So you've got Shane Ryan in goal, Graham O'Sullivan, Jason Foley, Tom O'Sullivan in the full back line, half back line, Paul Murphy, Toig Morley and Gavin White, midfield, Jeremy O'Connor and Jack Barry, and the half forward line, Darragh Moynihan, Sean O'Shea and Adrian Spillane, and then the full forward line is Paddy Clifford, David Clifford and Paul Gainey. Thoughts on that team? Maybe like initially, like it looks very much the exact same team that played Tyrone by the looks of it there. I haven't heard any late changes yet, unless you've heard that. But any thoughts on that team?
Yeah, it's the same team that lined out against Tyrone, the exact same. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they produce a performance now today. Like Tony Brosnan not being in is very, very interesting. Like he played well against Tyrone the last day. Paul Gainey still keeps his place despite not scoring so much this season. But it's a decent Kerry team. Look, it's the team that beat Tyrone. You may as well stick to it. And the midfield, I'm saying, is going to be very, very interesting. Like they played well against Tyrone. They haven't in previous games, like against the likes of Cork and Mayo in previous games indeed. But look, today will actually answer a lot of questions. Were Tyrone that bad in the quarterfinal, or Kerry that good? Because this Kerry team, let's not forget, they struggled against Mayo and Killarney as well early on in the season. So it's going to be interesting to see how they perform against a decent Derry team today. But that team is probably the best that Jack O'Connor could put out. So yeah, I think Kerry are right to go with it.
Yeah, I think so. Like, and look, that was the team that done the damage against Tyrone. In fairness, the Derry side is Oren Lynch in goal, Chrissy McCaig, Owen McAvoy, Conor McCluskey in the full-back line, Conor Doherty, Garrett McKinless and Porrick McGrogan in the half-back line, Conor Glass and Brendan Rodgers in midfield, Noel Toner, Paul Cassidy, Ethan Doherty in the half-forward line, Kieran McFell, Shane McGuigan and Noel Loughlin in the full-forward line. So, again, like, it's probably a team that really picks itself. Like, you're looking at the bench and maybe thinking, like, Lakeland Murray could come on late on. But generally speaking, like, it's a team that's very much picked itself all year, really.
Exactly, yeah. It's it was the same side that played against Cork. Benny Heron actually was named to start against Cork. Niall Turner came into his place. And to be honest, I know there's the memes about Benny Heron and all that from the in-betweeners, etc. But in fairness, like, Niall Turner has probably been a better player than Benny Heron this season, and he's probably been Derry's most threatening forward on given days than Shane McGuigan. It's going to be interesting, actually, Kieran McFall's role, because I seen a tweet from Carl O'Kane leading up to today that he'll be on Gavin White. Look, if that's going to be in fruition, that's going to be a brilliant battle, actually, because McFall is a player that'll run up and down the field, same as Gavin White. And Gavin White isn't the best defensively, so it's going to be interesting to see how McFaul deals with him. He's back in Ireland a long time now, so this is the day where he should step up and perform. Like, Niall Loughlin's going to be interesting. He hasn't performed this season. Willie today, Paul Cassidy has been Derry's best scorer than Shane McGuigan. It's going to be interesting to see how he performs. So, interesting team from Derry, but I'm particularly fascinated by the role of Kieran McFaul today. It's going to be interesting to see how he performs, considering he wasn't there for the Galway game last year, so maybe he's going to turn a few heads this time round.
Absolutely. Yeah, plenty of comments flying in. Hans says here, "Hi Aaron, hi Matthew, hi Hans. Hope all is well." Kerry versus Dublin would be or Armageddon. Yeah, it would be an absolute classic of a game, and it would be the 16th time that Dublin and Kerry will have played each other in an All-Ireland final, and that very much speaks for itself. Aaron says here, as a dub, I want Derry to win, but can't see them getting past this Kerry team. That's an interesting point. Like, I was speaking to like a few Dublin fans after the match, obviously yesterday, and we're speaking about like, would we, on paper you would look at it and think Derry is the side Dublin would rather play, but then again, I think context means everything. And if Derry were to get through Kerry, like the amount of momentum that they would be carrying going into that final, and they put the Crow Park voodoo to bed. All this talk about Derry not being a Crow Park team, you'd have to put that to bed. And if Derry can beat Kerry, they can surely beat Dublin. So like if Derry could get through Kerry, I think Dublin would probably still go in as favourites, but in many ways, I think they'd almost nearly be a more dangerous proposition than actually playing Kerry in the final, because at least we know what Kerry are going to do. Whereas if Derry were to come through Kerry, I know they have this style and the way that they play, but stylistically, it would be tough for Dublin.
Yeah, it's going to be tough enough. I'm just seeing the Kerry lineup there. It's no changes as expected there, but it's an interesting thought actually, because Dublin did struggle against a defensive system like Monaghan's last night, and coincidentally, actually, I see the Derry are unchanged as well. So all lineups ready to go, which is probably unusual to an extent. But in fairness, it is an interesting viewpoint, because you see Dublin, they struggle sometimes against Ulster teams to break them down, but eventually they get over the line. Whereas Kerry, they played them loads of times now, especially last season. And to be honest, Dublin didn't put up their best performance in the first half, and they fell flat in their face in the first half. But the second half, they put up a performance that you could see what the real Dublin could do. But Dublin are better this year than last year, so Kerry will know that too. So if Dublin and Kerry face off against each other, it's going to be a very, very interesting game. And it's probably, to be honest, every neutral in the country would want a Dublin and Kerry final, I'll put it that way, except for Cork, to be honest with you, because we don't want Kerry in the final regardless. But in fairness, it's going to be an interesting game if Dublin and Kerry come up against each other. But if it's Derry, I'm fearing, Aaron, it's going to be a whitewash from All-Ireland final. It's going to be very, very poor. So I'd say the majority of people even watching this live stream, watching the game today, would actually want Kerry to go through rather than Derry. And it's an interesting viewpoint to think that Dublin fans would want, including yourself, would want Kerry to go through rather than Derry too.
Yeah, to be fair, I speak for myself there. I was speaking to a majority of Dublin fans. I think a lot of them do want Derry to go through, but I just think for myself, I think the best case scenario is nearly Kerry to completely just destroy Derry, and then they'll come in without a test necessarily, and they'll come in as huge favourites, and that will probably suit Dublin. But look, obviously we're here doing a watch along. I certainly want this game to be competitive. I certainly want this game to go down to the wire, and yeah, a part of me probably does want Derry to win, because look, at least if Dublin were to get beat in the final, you'd rather lose to Derry than Kerry, in my opinion. So and look, Dublin would go into the final against Derry as favourites. Padge says here, Derry play Jose Mourinho football, ugly to watch, but effective. And Tomo says here, are you doing a watch or a reaction for the Tailteann Cup? I'll be going live on Clifford tomorrow at 12 o'clock, so we'll certainly review the Tailteann Cup action then. But maybe any thoughts on that quickly? Like Mead obviously getting over the line yesterday, it was I was at the game and I watched the majority of the game from start to finish, and not the best game. The first goal was bizarre. I'll definitely have to see it back to what happened. I was in the upper Cusick, so it was mad. I don't think anyone actually knew it was a goal until a couple of seconds later, and everyone was sort of looking at each other being like, Jesus, was that actually a goal? But look, fair play to me. They've beaten down on 2 occasions this year, and they'll be in the All-Ireland series next year.
Yeah, and fair play to Meath. Like I've been, as you know, Aaron, very well on this channel. I've been very critical of Meath this season, but in fairness, they produced the performances when it mattered this season, and they've unearthed two gems. In fairness, in Jack O'Connor and Jack Flynn, who were absolutely superb yesterday. They got a bit of fortune with the goal to Pat Haver and OG, and I don't care what any Meath fan says. It wasn't Ronan Jones. It clearly touched Pat Haver in the to the back of the net. So I don't know why Meath would give it to him. All Ronan Jones did was push him basically. So but it was a Pat for an OG there. But in fairness to Meath, they were up for the challenge more than down yesterday, and you have to give them credit. And I am happy for Colin Moore because he got a fair bit of flack early on in the season. And an interesting stat actually mentioned in the post-match interview. Out of the game, out of the misery for myself in Meath beating Cork earlier on the year, that brilliant win for Meath, only 5 of that team started in the Tailteann Cup yesterday. That's a huge turnaround, especially in 1 year. So in fairness to Colin O'Rourke, he did an excellent job. He had a brilliant post-match interview as well. That Latin line, I absolutely loved that. I think everybody did as well. But yeah, I think Meath did very well this season. They can push on now next season. I will say, actually, I'm thinking this morning. Division 2 is going to be very tough next season because albeit I think Fermanagh are way off. But when you look at the other teams, like you look at Cavan, Louth, Meath now getting a bit of confidence, Kildare have the players, Cork, Armagh, Donegal even. Like Donegal could be in a relegation battle next year. Looking at the teams in it next season. So look, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how Division 2 progresses next season. And Meath, they're counting on the up now. They're bringing the young players like the likes of Jack Flynn and Jack O'Connor. And Jordan Morrison have his best day yesterday. Scored a brilliant point though. I have to say, I remember watching his point outside the boot. Brilliant score. Matthew Costello didn't have his best game, but still they went on and won the game, and that's the main thing for Colin O'Rourke and me. And they march on now to the Sam Maguire next season.
Yeah, and I thought Jack Flynn was very impressive as well. Like I think he's definitely been. I remember when he came on against Down in Parnell Park, and he was definitely like he changed the game. Like physically, he's got a very tall, strong presence. He can play in midfield, play in the half forward line. I think he's a very, very good footballer, and he's definitely a player I think Meath fans and a lot of neutrals are going to hear a lot more of, in my opinion. I thought he was sensational yesterday. But there we go. Thomas is down. Should have got goal in the first half. Yeah, like Down just missed big chances. They just missed big chances, and they missed, that goal chance right at the end of the first half from Liam Kerr. They just seemed to panic a little bit, which was unusual from a Down perspective in many ways.
It was, yeah, and look, I watched this on the RT Player Live yesterday. I was watching much of the ladies' football yesterday at the quarterfinals. So, but even watching it back, like even the first half for both sides, I thought the shooting was very, very poor. Like I think it was 40% from Meath, 20% from play. Down were very poor from shooting in positions as well. So yeah, it was a poor game in that sense yesterday, I thought, from the shooting side of things. But in fairness, Meath got over the line. Down, Meath just wanted it more, and Down seemed to score a lot going into the Tailteann Cup final, but when it mattered most, they just didn't have it. But I do think Down still, I know they didn't win the Tailteann Cup, but they still had a very good year. I think they'll be confident of going up to Division 3 or Division 2 next season. Like who is there in Division 3? Sligo had a good year, Clare. Still, Division 3 is going to be very, very tough for Down to get out of, but you'd imagine they're the front runners now to get out of Division 3 next season. So still Down had a good year, Meath had a good year, and the Tailteann Cup, I think, second year round, I think the Tailteann Cup is a good competition to play in. Maybe there's the argument that there shouldn't be much clashes of games. Like for example, like the ladies' football was clashing with the Tailteann Cup yesterday, and that was kind of a complaint for myself that I didn't get to watch the Tailteann Cup final live. But in fairness, overall, for the confidence and building of the teams in general, I think the Tailteann Cup has been a good competition. In fairness, especially for the likes of Meath, who needed to kick up the backside. In fairness, after the league and the game against Offaly in the Leinster Championship as well.
Yeah, I think so. Like, look, it was. There was a huge amount of Down fans in Croke Park. Like, I don't think there was as much Meath fans. There was definitely more Down fans in especially where I was anyway. Like, there was definitely pockets of the hill that had large sections of Meath fans, in fairness. But yeah, just getting ready for throwing now. We will throw a score graphic up on the screen once the game starts, and then I'll obviously update that score the more it goes ahead. But yeah, both sections of players going around the pitch with the Artane boys band and everything else. Actually, interesting enough, just looking at the hill there, hill looks very, very empty, which is kind of surprising. Like definitely, like I suppose Derry and Kerry like definitely didn't sell out the same way as obviously the games did yesterday, and obviously you did have a double header yesterday with me playing down, so that probably did play a factor. But yeah, like hearing during the week, like a lot of Kerry fans not making the trip up to Croke Park. Surprised by that in any way? Like, I suppose it kind of is usually what Kerry do, isn't it?
It is. They save their tickets for the final and they want the home games in Killarney. Like you see, you actually, it's interesting. Actually, you seen on the ladies' football last night, the stand in Austin Sack Park was full. But why was it full? Maybe because Kerry were at home last night and they're not home today, so they just won't travel. But it's the usual joke with Kerry fans. But to be honest, like they don't travel to the final. But when you look at the attendance numbers, it is true. I remember in 2019 against Tyrone. I think you remember that as well, Aaron. Like the stadium was almost empty that day. I think it was 30,000 that day. And I even see some seats now on both sides of the Cusack stand. So no, I don't think it's a myth at all. I think it's the fact really. I don't think and yeah, I see the upper canal end. It's empty. So geez. No, it's a fact. I don't think Kerry fans want to admit it online, but it's just a fact. I don't think they travel as much as the likes of the Dublin fans do, the Derry fans do, or Tyrone already, or Mayo especially. So, yeah, it's probably something that Kerry just have, and it's just history in general.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to Dublin, like we probably don't have to travel too much. But look, when we have been away from Dublin, in fairness, a lot of us do travel. Like obviously Laois and Port Laois, obviously earlier in the year, playing Clare and in the Gaelic grounds and everything else. Dublin is great. Says I'm in a bar with the game on the TV, but I still choose this. That's much respect, fair play. And hello, my name is James. Said, should I go to the pub or not? I mean, look, these are serious questions. I mean, I'm just looking outside now, and the rain is just belting down right in time for the start of this game in Croke Park. And depending on where you are, like I don't know, like is it I suppose is it a day for being in a packed pub? Maybe it is when it's absolutely raining. But certainly for myself anyway, who had a few after the game yesterday, I'll be staying away from any pubs today.
Jeez, I'd say Dublin fans would probably stay away from pubs. I think they went all last night. Did you go to the pub last night, Aaron actually?
Yeah, I went to Cusack's after for two, and then I went into the living room for one, and then came home after that. Then it was actually good. Actually, the Meath and Kerry game was actually on the big screen in the living room, which was great to see. Like, and I actually got to watch large parts of that match. Like, there was no commentary or anything. It was just muted, but like got to see like good chunks of that and everything else, which was pretty good. Like, I think they had the Dublin game on the big screen as well, which was good. Like, but yeah, and I went for a few, but thankfully enough got home in time before the craziness, before the rush for taxis and everything else. But yeah, there was plenty of other fans out as well. Like, seen plenty of Down fans taking over the living room pub, like which was great to see, and plenty of Meath fans and everything else. So yeah, great to see supporters like enjoying their day. I know a lot of fans stayed back for the match as well. Like, so good to see fans, I suppose, getting their day out in the big capital city.
Great for Monaghan fans in general. Like we were talking about this last night, saying that we so wish the Cork would reach an All-Ireland semi-final, and Monaghan have had their day out. And it's brilliant for such a small county, in fairness, 60,000 people, and to have a great day out like that. And in 2018 too, in fairness to them. So, like, I think more than anything, it was great for Monaghan fans to, get a sense of the captain in general. But yeah, brilliant day overall. As Derry have a chance.
Oh Jesus, yeah, almost a half goal chance there. Yeah, the game has started. Conor Glass with a huge turnover straight away, and Derry just charging at Kerry, and they nearly got in there. There was nearly an opportunity for Derry to get in there.
It was Niall Loughlin that took the shot in the end, and Kerry got blocked it. I imagine it was Jason Foley. Kieran McFaulds put the ball in here.
Straight into the square, into Conor Glass.
It's a free out.
Yeah, I think it is there. Just seeing a comment here from Gavin who says Sean Kavanagh backing Derry. Interesting. So that's an interesting prediction from Sean Kavanagh.
I wouldn't listen to Sean Kavanagh, to be honest, Aaron. I'm just thankful the TV's on mute now. I just he's just a guy that I just don't like. He never respects Cork or anything. He never respects Kerry either. I think he hates Munster teams in general. Sean Kavanagh, I don't know, do you get that vibe? But
Yeah,
No,
he seems to come out with very controversial stuff every now and again. And he wasn't really like that at the start of his pun the 3 days. I don't know if we... Oh, here's the chance for Kerry, chance for a goal. In the end, it goes wide. Jesus, yeah, it was a save from Oren Lynch, and then it just came rebounded back off Gavin White and then wide. So that was a big opportunity. Good save from Oren Lynch.
It's a brilliant save, actually. I think it was Gavin White that took a shot. Paul Gainey deflected off. And I'm seeing who blocked it there. Was it Thomas Sullivan blocked it there? But geez, it's 3 goal chances already. I didn't think we'd have goal chances this early on. I thought it'd be a bore fest. But both sides seem to be going for it.
Yeah, I think from a Derry perspective, like they probably know that like they're gonna need goals to win this game. Like they're not gonna win this game, I don't think, without goals. You know, that way. Like, so I think goals is, you know, is so important from a Derry perspective.
It is, and Clifford now on McCaig. Let's see what happens here.
There we go. Yeah, just completely turns him inside out, pops it over the bar. So that's I suppose the first battle won. McCaig, like, he contained them well, but Clifford is just like, I don't know if there is anyone really who can mark him. Like, it's just one of them where it's more about containing Clifford rather than, you know, like trying to like keep him scoreless or anything like that.
I know 3 men that did well in Clifford, though, and they all come from the same county. Maurice Shanley, Sean Meehan, and Kevin Vlahovic. So any county that's wanted people to mark David Clifford, there's your 3 men. So just wanted to put that out there, Aaron.
There we go. There we go. I suppose there's an argument though that, like, because it was Cork, he didn't need to be at his brilliant best in a lot of those games when Kerry were comfortably winning.
And maybe when Cork were actually good this season, that Clifford, that was the time when he turned it on. So yeah, true thoughts, I suppose. But I see Oren Lynch is coming out of goal. Like, I chatted this about to John during the week on my podcast. Like, if he gets turned over and Kerry break fast, they did that against Tyrone for the Sean O'Shea goal, if I remember correctly. And here they go again. They've won a free. It's going to be interesting to see if Oren Lynch
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's definitely a foul there from McCaig, I think, on Clifford. You could even argue that's a black card in some ways, like preventing like Clifford could have. I suppose it would be harsh as a black card, but like.
But yeah, like,
it was a clear chance there for Clifford. I don't even know if the ref is given on in the end. I don't even think he gave a free, so that's surprising.
Jeez, wow! I marked it down, and then Jesus, like that was surprising, and that's wide now, is it?
Yeah, overhit ball to Sean O'Shea, but yeah, 1 point for Kerry so far. Like, bit of a scrappy game so far in some ways.
Yeah, like Derry, in fairness, they're trying to, you know, come out their shell, which I'm actually surprised about. I thought they'd sit in and make the game as boring as possible, but in fairness, they're coming out. But I will say this, and I said this at the start of the show, Oren Lynch. He's battered it. Like, every time he drops the ball now, Aaron, you're just worried from the Derry point of view, because David Clifford or Sean O'Shea could converge on him, and it could end in absolute tears for Derry then. But it's surprising, actually, he's coming out, because I didn't think today of all days wouldn't be the day he'd come out. But Derry have a chance here.
Yeah, they do, and they're going straight through the middle. They have a chance for a goal. Oh, and it is a goal for Derry. It's turned in, yeah.
It's McKinless, I think it is.
It is, yeah. Jesus, Kerry were absolutely opened up like a knife through butter there.
Oh.
That's a brilliant goal.
That was pure luck. Like, it's a good, tiny finish, actually. Whoa.
Yeah, like a little bit of luck. I think it was Glass initially who forced a save, and then it gets turned in by, I think it might have been.
And here comes now, Gavin White.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, Jesus, straight down the other end, and Kerry have a goal now. Gavin White.
Oh, this game's opened up now.
It is, yeah. Look, and I was kind of nearly thinking, would we even get any goals in this game? We've got 2 in the space of a minute, but both sides defensively have just been cut adrift, like, straight away, like, and that's very surprising. Like, how open at the back Kerry were, and even Derry as well. Like, you wouldn't associate Derry conceding goals as easily as that. Like,
thing is, though, they conceded a similar goal to Cork in the previous round. They conceded a goal in nearly every game this season. Like, the narrative is Derry don't concede goals, but there was always going to be a goal conceded from Derry today. They conceded 1 against, they conceded 2 against Monaghan and the Ulster, They conceded 2 against Fermanagh and the Ulster as well. Fermanagh, like. So there is goal to concede for Derry as they take a shot here. And that's gone over.
It's a lovely point there, yeah, I think. Yeah.
It's
lovely point.
7, Patrick McGrogan.
Great score, yeah. So after all that, we're locked level, 1-1 each. McGrogan, I think, has gone down straight after as well.
Interesting, geez. Like, yeah, it's an interesting game. Like, I didn't think it'd be this open, to be honest with you. I was going all doom and gloom, but geez, this is interesting so far.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And look, maybe I might have to update the score a little bit quicker. Like, it probably will take me a few seconds just to update the score, just because I'm working off another app here just to update it. But yeah, it is 1-1 to 1-1 each. Just looking at the goal there as well. The Derry goal, like, it was a good save, and yeah, just a bit too easy. The Kerry goal, like Gavin White just wandering straight through. So
yeah, it was very, very poor defending. But now we have a bit of a race now with McGrogan down. I don't know, is he going to go off? Is it a hamstring? Serious?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, looks like it might be some sort of injury. But yeah, like, I mean, it'll be interesting with Derry, obviously, as well, like with the change in management this year. Like, what's been your thoughts on Kieran Meena being in charge of Derry so far? Like, have you seen many changes from Gallagher in charge? Or, like, it's kind of interesting when you see some different perspectives. Like, a lot of people maybe saying Derry haven't looked as good under Kieran Meena, but at the same time, I've seen them look a lot more attacking. I actually think they've looked a lot more attacking under Kieran Meena than under Gallagher. But what's your opinion so far?
But to be honest, I thought they were decent enough attacking wise against Monaghan in the Ulster semi final. They weren't attacking against Cork in the quarter final, or they weren't necessarily against Monaghan in the All Ireland. They were against Donegal though, so maybe it's every second game. I don't know what it is with this Derry team as number 7 goes off and Patrick Cassidy comes on. So yeah, but that's a usual change, to be honest with you. So yeah, it's unfortunate that McGrogan, he's gone off early. So All Ireland semi-final is cut short.
Yeah, and he just scored as well. It was a lovely point. Like, I don't know, did he pull his hamstring as he was taking the shot? Was there a follow through or something there? But yeah, like, definitely a big loss there from a Derry perspective.
It's gonna be interesting now in the Kerry kickouts. He's kicked it short to Morley, Shane Ryan. So I wonder, will he actually kick it long now with Glass and Rogers in the middle? Or will he keep kicking it short each and every time? It's good. Will Derry push up on the Kerry kickouts or not? They haven't done the first 2. So
no. And they are sitting off a lot here. Like, they've definitely retreated a lot more back into their defensive shell that we'd be so used to them playing. But it was interesting as well, like seeing Dublin yesterday be very defensive against Monaghan in the first half. Like, we just allowed Monaghan to keep the ball for large parts. Like, I very much anticipated it would nearly go the other way, but that's a good mark call there.
Adrian's plan. That's going to be probably a point.
Yeah, you definitely expect them to put this over. But fair play to Kerry though, like, to concede that goal early on. You know, like, he's miles wide. Yeah, he's really missing that.
Wide.
I was just about to update the score there, just as well I didn't. But yeah, that was a surprise miss. I mean, the conditions are very bad. Like, in conditions yesterday in Croke Park were very poor. Like in Croke Park, and it did play a part. Like, you've seen a lot of the Dublin players slipping. Like, Noel Scully slipped right before that black card incident, and obviously he pulls down one of the Monaghan players. But players were slipping and sliding all over the place. So, like, conditions are definitely going to play a part. And you just see there, like, the ball bobbling out over the end line from Paul Gainey. So, that conditions are going to play a part here, and it might even favour Derry maybe.
Possibly. Like, weight day doesn't suit Kerry historically and all that. But what I was interested there, Dermot O'Connor winning the kick out there, that was the first long kick out of the day, and Kerry won it. So was that kind of a trend that's going to, follow in the hours to come or the minutes to come? I'm not sure. But that was a good win for Dermot O'Connor, maybe 1-0 against Glass and Rogers for Kerry midfield. So interesting there as Rowan Lynch breaks up again. And
Yeah.
But Kerry seemed very structured defensively now in the last game against Tyrone, and they are again, and they've won the ball back. So I don't know what's happened to Kerry over the last few weeks or so, but they're very structured defensively over the last game and this game indeed so far.
Yeah, like I mean, and that's what we seen Kerry do last year. Like they were so good for those turnovers. Like they did it against Dublin time and time again in the first half last season. They were excellent against Galway with turnovers, I felt, and that's something they've hugely relied on, the sort of Paddy Tally effect of, coming into this Kerry side. And we haven't seen much of it this year. Like they've been very open at the back at times. And look, sure, they were very open at the start of this game, conceding that goal. But it does seem in their half-back line with Gavin White and Tyg Morley, Tom O'Sullivan pressing out. They're very, very strong at forcing those turnovers.
And maybe having Paul Murphy back there for a bit of experience. I don't think he was there for the Mayo game when they lost, but he's back now in the team, and he's obviously solidified that Kerry defence in general. Like it's all good talking about Tyg Morley and Thomas Sullivan, but you need an experienced head back there, and definitely Paul Murphy. He was captain, I think, a few seasons back. He was one of the best players in 2014. I think he was man of the match in the 2014 All-Ireland final. Correct me if I'm wrong now, but he's definitely a player that Kerry, are led by. And by God, Kerry need leaders in the team to win it All Ireland, and he is one of them, in fairness. And he's nearly been one of the best defenders in the country, in my opinion. Him coming into the Kerry team, he solidified things, and he's definitely a leader in the Kerry team in general.
Yeah, Dublin is great. Just says here, what is the score? So it's 1-1 apiece. The score should be on the screen, but I suppose if you are listening in, we will try update you with the score as well as far as we go along. But yeah, 1-1 apiece there. Ball dropped short from one of the Kerry attacks there. So but yeah, Kerry maybe a little bit wasteful in attack at times here, like Adrian Spillane putting one wide, another opportunity. I didn't see who dropped that short, but yeah, a little bit wasteful from Kerry.
Didn't see who dropped that shot either. I thought it was Darmine in there, but maybe that was the corner eye or whatever. But it had 6 shots so far. They converted 33%, whereas Derry have had 3 shots and converted 2. So like Derry are actually taking their chances so far, in fairness. Kerry, like that Spillane one, the one that missed Sean O'Shea was another one. I think there was one that started the game as well, and then there was that one that dropped short as well. So Derry seem to be taking their chances as I speak. They have a chance here. And that's gone over.
Nailed it, yeah. Brilliant point there.
It's by Paul Cassidy.
There we go. There we go. It was a brilliant point as well. Like tough angle, like on his right boot, like that, having to cut in. And what's interesting so far is we haven't really seen much from Shane McGuigan, which like I think for Derry, like they nearly look at that maybe as a positive so far, and the fact they're still in front. I mean, they will probably need to get him into the game at some point, but the fact he hasn't really been in the game, and Derry are still in front, is definitely a positive.
It is, and they've had 3 different scores that, albeit one of them has gone off, and McGrogan, unfortunately, his semi-final got cut short, but Cassidy and McKinglas have also scored. And their defence, actually, Derry are much higher scoring than Kerry's, in my opinion, as well. So maybe that's an avenue, but Kerry have a chance here to level it, and wide again.
Wide, yeah. Poor miss there. There we go. So Kerry just maybe a little bit, a little bit sloppy there from a Kerry perspective in front of goal. Derry going straight down the other end now as well.
Yeah, it's uncharacteristic from Kerry, actually. They had 100% shot accuracy against Cork in the second half alone. So, and Derry have another chance here to nail it. And they have.
Yeah, Shane McGuigan. There we go. So 1-3 to 1-1 after about 15 minutes gone. So Derry leading by 2 points after 15 minutes. Definitely been a good start from a Derry perspective. Kerry just maybe a little bit sloppy with a few misses from Adrian Spillane and Jason Foley. Here goes Gavin White racing up the sideline.
Yeah, geez, look, it's very uncharacteristic for Kerry, isn't it, Aaron? You wouldn't have expected this to start of the game.
You definitely wouldn't know, but I suppose from like a Kerry perspective, like there is obviously still a long way to go, and you would still expect Kerry to kick into gear. Like I think, much has been made of Kerry's second half versus Tyrone. Like they were at times in the Tyrone game in the first half. Like let's not forget, Tyrone looked very, very good, and it probably wasn't until that second half where Kerry really pushed on and pulled away. And we've seen obviously the same with Dublin against Mayo. We probably thought something similar was going to happen with Dublin Monaghan. and probably wasn't really until the final, 4 or 5 minutes until Dublin actually pulled away. But yeah, look, be interesting. We're seeing Derry set up very defensively here, and this will suit. Like, the more Derry can stay in front, the more they'll grow in confidence, and the more this style of football will work. Because I think it's been told before, like, Derry, they don't really have a plan B, and like, they're not really good at chasing a game. So like, if they fall behind, that could be a worry. But there's another red card that's gone over. Yeah, that's a great score.
It's by Dermot O'Connor. He did very well in the last game. Good score. To kick a bit to gear.
Yeah, very, very good point indeed there.
Derry have already kicked the ball out. Kerry are going back in their defensive mode as well. Usually, some of them are pushing up. I think 2 of them, 3 of them are pushing up. But Derry,
yeah, like, it's surprising they don't press Oran Lynch more, because like, I know like Derry are trying to play Oran Lynch as that sort of sweeper keeper, and we've seen Rory Beggan does it brilliantly. We've seen Ethan Rafferty do it brilliantly. Here's a chance actually for Kerry quickly, and that looks over the bar, and that's a great score there. Quick with a play there from Kerry, and popped over from Paddy Clifford. 1-3 each, and good response there from Kerry.
Really good response there, in fairness. And now Kerry up to 4 different scores. Each team, there's 8 different scores across both teams so far, and all the scores have been in play. So interesting start so far, and probably a more interesting game than we anticipated at the start of the show. But it's great to see, actually. It's contrasting styles, and yeah, Derry are keeping in the game, which I didn't expect at the start of the game either if it was open. It is an open game, and Derry are keeping in it, which is a great thing as a spectacle, in fairness, because the last thing we want is a hammering, really, Aaron. So yeah,
No.
impressed so far by Derry. The defensive system, their attack so far, and just to say, they're kind of fumbling the ball there, but they've got to Conor McCluskey there. But they've started well, Derry.
They have, and I don't even know if they've hit an opportunity wide yet as well. They've been very, very clinical. And here's another chance, just about peeks over bar there, I think, from McGuigan.
It is, yeah.
Well, yeah, so there we go. So yeah, 1-4, 1-3.
They haven't put one wide. The only chance they missed was the Niall Loughlin one at the start, Derry. If you don't count Conor Glass before the Garth McInnes one. So really, that's one chance missed for Derry. So they've been very, very impressive in front of goal so far as Kerry break.
They have, yeah. And here's David Clifford. Probably could have called the mark there. Just gets a... Oh, that's brilliant, isn't it? Like, he barely even has any space. Like, it's like he wins the ball. Like, McCaig has done everything right there. Like, he hasn't beat McCaig. He just turns him and then boom, pops it. Like that, because that was the worry, and that was what a few people said in my own preview show in the comments down below, is that does McCaig have the pace to keep up with Clifford? To be fair, I'm not too sure if there is a man marker who does. Maybe a few lads in Cork, like you said before, but like McCaig, like that probably is the thing. Clifford just has that turn on him with pace-wise.
Yeah, that was something I was wondering during the week as well, because McCaig, how old is he now? 33, 34? So it's going to be a big, big test for McCaig in either way this week. So yeah, it's an interesting start so far with Clifford getting 2 points, 2 out of 2 so far, and McCaig has only won 1 duel against them, so 3 duels, and it's 2-1 so far to Clifford. So should be interesting for the rest of the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will try and update the score as frequent as possible, but definitely it's been a lot more higher scoring so far than we maybe would have initially anticipated. 1-4 apiece. There's an effort there, a bit of a pot shot really there. It is dropping in though. I think it's a wide, or is it 45? Wide.
Wide. So yeah, there was a bit of a pot shot there. That's their first wide of the day. So
Porrick is an interesting question here. Who do you think has been footballer of the year so far? That's a very tough one, isn't it? Like, I would have said Colin Basquel up till yesterday. He was very quiet yesterday, I felt. It's a hard one. I think Fenton's been very good in the last 2 games. I think James McCarthy's been very good. Shane McGuigan's been excellent as well, in fairness. Like, it's such a tough one, and I suppose maybe, at the end of this game we'll probably have a bit more of an understanding as to who probably is the front runner for footballer of the year right now.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, a one that I mentioned on my social medias last night, Cormac Costello. He could be up there. 100% accuracy in the last 2 games, and in the quarter, the semi-final, big game, pressure cooker games in Croke Park, and Cormac Costello's delivered. McCarthy's another good one. Fenton yesterday in the second half was superb. Clifford definitely has to be up there. Paul Murphy, as I said, at the start of the show, possibly could be up there as well. McGuigan, or who else from Monaghan, I'm thinking. Conor McCarthy possibly would have been up there until the semi-final. He'd probably still get an all-star, but will he be up there come the end of the year for player of the year? Probably not, because his performance yesterday wasn't as influential. So it's going to be very interesting to pick, but we'll definitely know more by the end of the day at the end of this game.
Yeah, just seeing Clifford win a free off McCaig there, and he's just seeing McCaig shake his head a little bit. I mean, is it one of them maybe where Kieran Mina maybe looks to actually make a change and actually take McCaig maybe off Clifford, or is it one of them where you just, like, Clifford is so good, you just have to let it be, I suppose?
I think the latter, definitely, because Conor McCluskey, as I mentioned at the start of the show, he was a minor with Clifford. Clifford scored 4-4 on him, so you can't put him on. Or McAvoy, it's still a big challenge on him. So who else do you put back there? McKinless, who's not really a marker. So yeah, it's a question of Clifford is that good, and it's also a question of who else is there to mark him. So, like, I think Kieran Mina, like, he scored 3 points so far. Like, in fairness to McCaig, he's won 1 duel so far, which is actually decent enough, as Ethan Doherty, I think, goes forward here. And bit of a tame shot there.
Yeah, I suppose, like, speaking of Clifford, like, he obviously popped over that free to make it 1-5 to 1-4, 3 points today. Like in fairness, like, he's in the conversation to win Footballer of the Year as well, back-to-back Footballer of the Year awards. I mean, his performance versus Tyrone, obviously setting up the Sean O'Shea goal in the way that he did, and some of the points he was kicking. Like, he probably hasn't, like, he's been quiet at times this year, and it's probably has to bide his way back into, his best form. But yeah, like, he's definitely in the conversation as well, in fairness.
He is definitely. Look, he is every year, to be honest. And as Brendan Rodgers wins a free there, fair play to him. But, like, in fairness to Clifford, like, he's been targeted nearly every single game, and he's nearly come out on top in every single one as well. And it's incredible. Like, against Tyrone in the first half, if you remember correctly, he was struggling. He hit, I think, 5 shots wide in the first half. He was struggling on Paddy Hampsey, but then he produces that moment of brilliance to pass it into Tony Brosnan for the Sean O'Shea goal. So even if he's not scoring, he's still contributing, which is the main thing out of him, as Oran Lynch drops the ball and he's getting points.
Yeah. Bounces over the bar, Mead 1996 style there, I think. Bounces over the ball, over the bar from Oran Lynch. So yeah, like, it was you can see where he was looking for. Like, and to be fair, if McGuigan, don't know if it was McGuigan who was chasing that, maybe it was Cassidy. If he had gotten the end, it was McGuigan actually. If McGuigan had caught that, he was goal side on Jason Foley, so it would have been a huge opportunity for a Derry goal. But look, it bounces over the bar in the end and back level again. Derry win the kick out.
Yeah, and here comes Derry now.
Oh, look at these right. Oh. There was a man literally free right inside there. If you had looked,
over indeed.
It is, yeah, brilliant score from Derry. Paul Cassidy again.
Second point today. And when you look at their shot accuracy, 70%, 7 shots taken out of 10. Derry had to be on point. We said that during the week with Monaghan and Derry. If they are to cause a shock, they have to be on point. Monaghan, to be fair to them, I know they did well in the first half, but they weren't particularly on point shooting accuracy. You can't say the same about Derry today. They are absolutely on point, and they're definitely put it up to Kerry today. And they're going the right way about it. Like, in fairness, Clifford's keeping Kerry in it. He's brilliant. So
he is, yeah. He scored 3 points so far, and he might have, maybe it was Paddy Clifford who set up Gavin White's goal. But yeah, no, like, I think from a Derry perspective, like, they can be very happy, and like, it is a game of fine margins. Like, we've seen that in Dublin Monaghan yesterday. I was saying it in the match reaction last night. Like, like, especially at this stage of the season, it is a game of fine margins. And like, Dublin didn't kick a wide in the first half yesterday. I think until the 30th minute. And I think we had 80% shooting accuracy in the second half. So, like, it is a game of fine margins, and to take down the likes of Dublin's and Kerry's, like, probably the 2 best teams in the country. You need to, everything really does need to go right. Like, if we're being brutally honest,
it does, yeah. And that was where Monaghan fell last night. In fairness, yeah, and that's big. Old Clifford says another shot, is he? And that's gone over. Oh no, it's White. Is it Hawkeye?
Hawkeye, maybe, yeah. Or, yeah, it seems to be no signal from the. The umpire, maybe the ref has called a free, is he? I think he's calling a free in, maybe. Maybe he's pulled it back for a free, I think. Yellow card now.
Yeah, that's big. No, like, is there a question now, Aaron, would you put someone else on him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a clear yellow card. He probably should have got a yellow earlier on in the game as well, to be fair. But yeah.
He's just like he's tearing McKay like inside and out, like, and it's I don't know, like, it again, like, what else do you put on him? But Clifford takes this one, looks to have put it over the bar, does put it over the bar, so we're back level again. 1-6 apiece is the score, and I think we're level for maybe the third or fourth time in this game. So yeah, it's neck for neck and very even so far.
It is, and what I will say about Kerry, like, Clifford is definitely keeping him in 4 points out of a possible 7 scores from so far. And he's the guy, he is the man that's keeping them in it. And Derry go for another long kick out. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, they've had a lot of joy in those long kickouts actually so far.
And it's Dermot O'Connor getting a speaking to there. Let's see what happens here. Are they showing for a black card there, Derry? It is a black card. Dermot O'Connor.
Wow, yeah. That's big. That's huge. That could be very big. I mean,
it is. Yeah, it's a deliberate trip. Let's see this. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, it's almost mirror image of Noel Scully's one yesterday. So, like, it definitely is. Definitely is a black card, no question about it, and that could be big. Can Derry go back in front here? They can. That's a brilliant score.
It's Brendan Rodgers. That's a brilliant score. No, I remember from last night, Aaron. I think Dublin scored 3 points to Monaghan's 2 when Noel Scully was off the pitch, and Monaghan didn't capitalise. Let's see what Derry can do now. If they can capitalise on this, it could be a huge moment in the game.
Yeah, no, it definitely could. And I remember even yesterday, like, speaking to my mate beside me in Croke Park and saying, when Old Scully came back on, I was like, geez, I nearly forgot that we were actually down to 14 men, because, like, the game was actually favouring us at that point, and then obviously Scully comes off and Kilkenny comes on. So yeah, this is huge now for Derry. Like, they really need to make use of the spare man, and they turn the ball over. Brendan Rodgers getting in front of Jason Foley, maybe I think it was there, McGuigan now. This could be huge for Derry if they could go 2 in front.
And there's a shot. And it's gone over. It's gone over again.
Wow. McFell, yeah. This is remarkable stuff here from Derry. They haven't even kicked a wide yet, I don't think. One wide, maybe. Yeah.
So 75%, which is absolutely incredible. And what I would say, actually, they scored 1-6 overall against Galway last year. They've now topped that by 2 points, and we're 30 minutes gone. It's incredible.
Wow, yeah. And in fairness to them, like, they've taken the game to Kerry. Like, they're going at them. They're going for their throat. Like, they're not being too passive as what we've seen with Derry in, like, last season. And it probably maybe is surprising Kerry ever so slightly.
And another key stat as well that I've picked up here: Kerry have only conceded 2 frees, and Derry have scored all their scores from play so far. It's incredible. It definitely epitomizes how well Derry are playing so far. And in fairness to them, they're really putting up to Kerry here. And they've got 2 points already with the black card. I'm just seeing when Dermot O'Connor actually went off to 27 minutes 40 seconds in the first half. So he should be back 2 minutes and 40 seconds into the second half, unless there's additional time of 2 minutes here. I'm not sure how that computes really are. Do you think there's additional time counting this? Timing for the black card?
I think it does. Yeah, I think it does. I think it should do anyway. Like, I think it's 10 minutes, and 10 minutes is 10 minutes. So I think it probably, like, because then, like, if it was, like, imagine it was 4 minutes of injury. I'm not saying there's going to be 4 minutes, but if there was 4 minutes of injury time and then 2 minutes into the second, like, it kind of, like, I think pretty sure, like, it is 10 minutes is 10 minutes in fairness. And you imagine Kerry here, like, they're just keeping the ball. They'll have their street smarts about them, keep the ball, try and slow the game down, and just while they just trying to manage this period, really.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big thing for Kerry in general. But Yeah, I'm thinking you were talking about 4 minutes. I think it'll be 4 minutes at the end of the half. And Shane Ryan.
Yeah, that was looked
The
like he
charge.
kind of
And he goes up. And here's a point coming. It is a point from Shane
yeah.
Ryan.
Wow, good point. I mean, it looked like he kind of maybe jumped into, was it Conor Glass maybe in the process of catching that, but maybe it was 50-50, like it was McGuigan actually.
Oh,
Yeah, like I think that should be a foul personally. Like he's clearly jumped up and he's hit him with his backside there, I think.
yeah, I think it looked like a foul to me, all right. And McGuigan is down.
Wow.
So this could be a key moment in the game in general if this happens. But yeah, on Shane Ryan actually kicking, he's actually a corner forward for his club, Ratmore, who won the intermediate All Ireland. So it's no surprise he got that point. Actually, it might be a surprise to people watching the game in general, but not a surprise to me anyway. And I don't know, did you know that, Aaron? But yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I actually wasn't aware of that at all, to be honest with you. So yeah, no, that is surprising. And both goalkeepers have now scored from play, which might be the first time maybe that's ever happened in an All Ireland semi-final that both goalkeepers have scored from play. I don't think it happened last year. So yeah, that might be a statistic there maybe of no.
Yeah, and to be honest, Aaron, you came up with that, so I'd let you post that. To be honest, which is Brendan
Yeah.
Rodgers over the bar.
Brilliant, yeah, brilliant from Rodgers. He's having a cracking game, and Derry are really strong in around midfield. They're really winning a lot of them 50-50 balls. They're winning those moments. And look, to be fair, Kerry are obviously short a man in midfield at the moment. Like Jeremy O'Connor isn't in there. I'm not too sure who's obviously filling the void, but Derry are winning those battles. They're winning those 50-50 battles, and Kieran Mean will be very happy with how this game has gone so far.
He will, and that was a dodgy hiccup there from Kerry, but they've won in the end. But yeah, they'd be very, very pleased. In fairness, like 3 points to 1 since the black card, and Derry winning that battle, which is absolutely massive. And if they could get maybe a few more, and they've turned the ball over again, and it's Rodgers again. He's having a stormer of a game, Aaron, today.
He is, yeah. He's playing everywhere. He's nearly playing at left half back there. Incredible stuff. Like, and Derry are just playing with a huge amount of energy, and Kerry just don't really know what to do with it here. McKaig has to go back to Glass. Interesting, like Derry scored 112 against Cork. They've scored 1-9 here in 33 minutes, and if they can convert a chance here, they'll have 110 on the board. So, like Derry have, I wouldn't say they've abandoned their defensive principles.
Have they got another one? They've got another one. They score.
Wow.
McGuigan again.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. He's doing like McGuigan. In fairness, I know he's been quiet in general in the game that we've been watching, but he scored 3 points so far. I don't know, and his 4 shots in general. So he's done excellent so far. In fairness to him, and 3 points from play, may I add as well. So he's having a stormer.
He is, and I tell you what, it's been a good game. It's been a very, very good game. Like 110 to 107 in the first half. Like that's quite high scoring. Look, you'd imagine like the more this game goes on, Derry will retract and they'll try and defend what they have and try and keep Derry out. But
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec, Aaron. I think one of the Kerry players has an eye socket or the what you call the optical lens thing. You know what Nicky Quaid had last week? I think Kerry are doing the same trick here.
Wow.
Or they've Jason Foley is one of them.
Yeah, here we go.
But Derry have won that.
Why is he throwing it in? Was there something that?
Because he didn't kick the ball quickly enough, was it?
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, but Kerry have won it back anyway. That was a big turnover, in fairness. Rodgers there, Glass is there. Like, to be fair, like for a Derry team who've had more or less the same starting 15 for the entirety of the season, and like I think a lot has been made of the fact that they've gone with their strongest starting 15 for the majority of the season. The fact that they're not tiring and they're playing with this amount of energy is, it's very impressive, as Clifford obviously calls a mark there.
Yeah. And I wonder, it was a crucial mark there by David Clifford, and it's much needed score for Kerry. I'm just assuming Clifford will put it over because he's. Oh wait,
missed it.
Wait,
oh,
has he?
Hawkeye.
No, he's put it over.
It's curled in. It's curled in. Jesus, that was a mad moment there. Like you were thinking for a minute, he's put it wide, but I think it did curl in. Obviously, he had strong wind.
Exactly so, but this was a big turnover from Kerry as we see the replay there. I think it was Gavin White maybe that won it.
It was,
Was
yeah.
it
Like
him?
Derry could have went 4 in front. That would have been huge. It's
Oh, that was
McGuigan's.
40 on McGuigan. See the plan. Like Kerry nearly, they're trying to take McGuigan out of this game. There's 2 fouls on him now from Shane Ryan and now Jason Foley. So interesting there. But Derry
I
on the
suppose
attack.
if you do take McGuigan out of the occasion, like it probably does. It does kind of take away from what Derry have to offer. But here they go on the attack again with Glass. I'm surprised just how. Oh, that's a big challenge there by Clifford. Heavy shoulder. Yeah,
Oh, this is kicking off now.
Yeah.
Oh,
to be fair, I think it be interesting to see it back. Like, could be a yellow card, maybe, but maybe the Derry lads they know obviously how valuable Clifford is, so they're probably trying to say, look, that's a black or a red or whatever. But look, we'll see what happens here. It looks probably a yellow. To be fair, I don't think it was anything more. Like,
let's see this again.
Here.
Yeah, yellow. I'd say
heavy
challenge. I think it's shoulder to shoulder, like, but it's an aggressive shoulder. So yellow at most yellow card on. I will say this.
Yeah, just getting a second look at it. Like, to be fair, I think nearly looking at it now, like probably just is a foul. I think.
Yeah, and it probably is the right call in fairness, but Derry now have the opportunity to make it a 3-point game, and it's deserved because Derry have done excellent in this first half. In fairness to them.
Absolutely, yeah. Plenty of comments flying in. There's obviously so much action happening that I probably haven't had much of a chance to read some of the comments here. But Hans says Kerry and Derry has been close so far. It definitely has. Gavin says quite likely a Division 2 team is winning the All-Ireland this year. I mean, I suppose, well, look, I mean, if Derry win, obviously, both of those two, Derry and Dublin, be in Division 1 next year. But to be fair, they were Division 2 sides at the start of the season. So, again, quite an unusual one. Yeah, we'll see what's happening here. Yellow for Clifford.
Yellow card, yeah. Oh. Is it a yellow though? Do you think it's a
hard,
yellow?
When you look at that angle, it does look like he's kind of got his elbow and he's kind of pushing him down. But from the other angle, it did look more just like a heavy shoulder. And I think a heavy shoulder is a free, but I don't think it's probably warranted of a yellow card. It'd be interesting to see the replay back, but yeah, McGuigan standing over this.
That's his first free of the day, McGuigan. So let's see if he converts. So he should do, given his form this season. But
this will be the last action of the first half, you'd imagine, as well.
And he's put it over. Derry fans, and he has.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong win, though, right? Because even when the way that ball blew, like back across to the right hand side, so there definitely is a very, very strong win in Crow Park today. But there we go. Yeah, you'd imagine that'd be half time. We'll see what happens. Shane Ryan kicks it out.
I've seen Dermot O'Connor's back in the field as well. So that black card's been gone. So Derry have scored 5 points against Kerry's 2 during the black card. So that's key.
They definitely did take advantage of that. In fairness, take advantage of that moment.
Let's see if Kerry get a point before half time. It'll be crucial if they do.
Yeah. I suppose there was a bit of a stoppage, so you can understand the play, but you'd imagine the ref should probably blow it up any minute here, and he does, yeah. So here we go. Half time, Kerry 1-8, Derry 1-11. So yeah, maybe a bit of a turn up for the books. A lot of people expecting Kerry to win this quite comfortably and to be, dominant and everything else. But look, Derry have thrown one up for the books here, and they lead Kerry 1-11 to 1-8, and yeah, look, fair play to Derry. They've been clinical. I think one wide maybe in the game, and to be fair, that wasn't even a shot. I think that was a ball that was just kind of looped in. So wow, fair play to Derry. Very, very strong. Kerry have missed a couple of chances. Clifford's obviously been very good. He's probably kept Kerry in the game. But yeah, Derry have been excellent.
They have been and deserved their half-time lead. In fairness to them, they've had one wide so far. They've had a 80% shot accuracy, which James O'Donoghue, who actually mentioned in the football pod during the week, that Monaghan have to reach that to have a chance of beating Dublin. Derry may be the same against Kerry, and they have, in fairness to them, they've done absolutely superb, I will say, and they deserve their lead. at the break. But Kerry, Clifford, that man in general, he's keeping them in it by his fingertips, in fairness. And 5 points, 100% shot accuracy. He's doing his bit for Kerry, but I don't think his teammates are helping him in any way. But it's going to be a very interesting second half now. And what I will say, Derry capitalised on the black card very, very well in that first half, unlike what Monaghan did yesterday. So very, very good showing from Derry in general.
Yeah, so half time 1-11, 1-8, 3 points in favour of Derry. Padge says great first half. He also says maybe I've underestimated Derry. And A2 says did not see that type of football in Derry's locker at all. Yeah, look, I mean, very, very surprising stuff there from a Derry perspective. Like, they've gone at Kerry, they've gone after their throw. You know, they haven't been too passive or too defensive. And to be fair, like, from watching Kieran Meena, I suppose, being in charge of Derry, like, I have seen, like, against Monaghan at times, I thought they went for it. Against Donegal, I thought they were very attacking. And, you know, like, they've gone for Kerry and they've gone for them. And in many ways, it's definitely surprised Kerry, I felt.
It has done, especially the way that Derry have attacked in general. And I think they've done absolutely brilliant in attack-wise. Like, they've scored 1-11 in the first half. And as you mentioned, against Cork, they scored 1-12 in the entire game. That's a turnaround, I have to say, from Derry. They're attacking well. They're trying their utmost in general. And I think they're well on course to win this game. I remember Donegal and Dublin distinctly. I'm not sure what the margin of that game was at halftime. But Donegal went in with a plan. They ambushed Dublin. Could the same happen in the second half against Kerry this time around? Like, it's similar. All our champions against kind of a defensively sound team. It could happen, Aaron. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it could do. It could do. Like, and you know, maybe flashbacks ever so slightly of 2014 a little bit. You know, where Donegal, I suppose, kind of maybe a bit different. Like, Derry have kind of gone for Kerry, whereas Donegal probably stuck in the game, and then in the second half just kept hitting Dublin over and over again on the counter attack. But yeah, there we go. John says the ref is keeping Kerry and their Northern style football in the game. I don't know. Like, I haven't really seen that, and I mean, it's kind of mad with these refereeing things. I think everyone kind of jumps on them. A lot of Monaghan fans are very unhappy with the referee last night. But like, I haven't really seen anything hugely wrong there, in fairness.
I haven't, no, in fairness. Like, the Dermot O'Connor black card, maybe he's referring to. I think that was the correct call, and usually that's the correct call as well, Aaron. But when you look at the frees conceded, Kerry have only conceded 3 frees. Derry have actually scored 110 out of 111 from play. So the Kerry could have both complaints, I think, with the referees so far. So I just think Derry, they're playing the game well. They're stifling Kerry well, and they're frustrating them. They're frustrating their players. They're frustrating their fans. Clifford probably is the only one that isn't frustrated in the entire game. And Jack O'Connor, he looks perplexed on the sideline leading into halftime. So he has to do something in the second half to overcome this deficit. Like, they were comfortable against Tyrone. They had a good cushion. They don't know. Let's see what happens in the second half. Will Derry camp inside their own half in the second half? They're well able to do it. And I think they're probably the best team at it, much like Donegal back in the early 2010s. So let's see what's going to happen in the second half.
Absolutely. And like, that's the interesting thing as well with David Clifford and even Sean O'Shea as well. Like, we've obviously said at the start of the season, like, in terms of you know, like, the reliance obviously on David Clifford and everything else. And I suppose that has always been a common trend. Like, even when Kerry lost to Mayo, they were very reliant on Clifford. It wasn't enough that day. Against Tyrone, obviously, look, Sean O'Shea comes back to his best. You see Adrian Spillane contribute. Dermot O'Connor obviously scores 1-2. But you're looking at it there, like, Kerry have scored 1-8 so far. Clifford has scored 5 points. And Sean O'Shea's probably been anonymous. So, like, that's a big worry for Kerry, that they are very reliant on Clifford. And will that be enough? I'm not entirely sure.
It won't. By looking at the game so far, it probably won't be. But yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting the game in the second half in general to see how Kerry deal with the pressure. They happened against Ulster teams in previous years gone by. Look back at Tyrone in the 08, Tyrone in 21. They didn't deal with the pressure once the Ulster team put pressure on them. Let's see what they can do in the second half. And just on a side note, Aaron, it's interesting actually to see Damien Comer as a pundit on the Sunday game. I was watching the ladies' football until this moment, but to see him on, a bit refreshing in general. I think Michael Murphy did it a few years ago, and Conor McManus. Maybe something that Ireland should do more often. In fairness to them, kudos to RT for that.
Yeah, no, and I was listening a little bit like to him like before we went live, and he was obviously chatting about Galway season and some of the disappointments and shortcomings that obviously happened this season from a Galway perspective. But there we go. Sean says fair shoulder from Clifford. There's zero consistency with refs this year. And John says the yellow card on Clifford's man was no yellow. The ref last night had a fantastic game. Yeah, like, I just need to see the replay again. Like, because one replay, it kind of looked like he was going more so with the elbow, but obviously from another replay, it looked like shoulder to shoulder. So, if it was shoulder to shoulder, it was a heavy shoulder, so you'd say it was a free. Was it a yellow? Maybe not. But look, we'll see what happens. But that'll be interesting as well. Like, I'm sure the likes of Chrissy McKaig and maybe some of the other Derry lads, and I'm sure Derry will be talking about it now at half time, like, like to try and wind Clifford up a bit to try and get him to react, because if he makes one more mistake, he could be sent off, and that would be a huge moment in the game.
But let's not forget, Aaron, Chris McKaig's on the yellow as well.
Yeah.
And Clifford are both on yellow, so it's going to be very interesting, that tussle in the second half now. And we said this once McKaig got the yellow card, and they're actually highlighting in RT now the battle between them. But it seems like Clifford's winning it at the moment. I argued that you don't have anyone else other than McKaig to put on him. Like, honestly, I don't think there's anybody else to do a man-marking job as McKaig. I've just seen some clips here of McKaig. He's dragging him. This wasn't given as a free, I don't think.
No, that was a bad decision, I felt.
That was, yeah. So, yeah, knowing that maybe them two decisions with Joe McQuillan, but in general, Kerry only conceded 3 frees. Like, like, they aren't angels either, in fairness. So, that's the thing. You have to take that into account as well with referees in general. So maybe them two decisions on Clifford were bad, but in the rest of the game, I think Joe McQuillan's actually done a decent enough job, in fairness to him. But this was the yellow card for McKaig they're seeing on RT now, and it's going to be interesting to see now if and that's Clifford's yellow card again. Like, at that angle, it's a yellow arm.
Yeah, like it does look it from that angle, doesn't it? Like, it's a hard one to know, really. Like, it's one of them. Like, look, will it matter? Like, we don't know. Like, obviously, it will matter if Clifford ends up getting sent off. Like, to be fair, I think he's well used to the lads being in his ear and everything else. I think he's well used to that at this stage. And to be fair, he doesn't really react to any of that or any nature. So, I think he'd be quite level-headed in the second half. And as you said, look, McKaig's on a yellow as well. So, it would be an interesting one to see how that goes.
Interesting tweet, actually, Stephen Porter. You know how controversial he is on Twitter, as you know, but he says this at halftime. The deliberate targeting of Shane McGuigan in the first half has been an absolute disgrace. This whiter than white image that's always painted about Kerry needs reviewing. If an Ulster team was at that carry on, then they'd be called out. Kerry are at there would be some outcry on Sunday game if it was an Ulster team rather than Kerry. So, what do you think of that? Are Kerry targeting Shane? They've done it 2 times in the first half. They did it with Jason Foley or David Clifford. They did it with Jason Foley, I think, in the first half as well, and they did it with Shane Ryan. So, I'm telling you, it's an interesting one. But you're bringing up the Twitter now. I don't know, will you search Porter's tweet? But it's an interesting one, actually. It's an interesting point of view. But looking at that tweet, look at the way they've targeted him, maybe it's something to look at.
Yeah, as you were saying there. Yeah, just looking at some tweets here, like from halftime and everything else, and looking at some fan reaction and seeing what the fans are saying. But yeah, like, it is interesting. Like, obviously there was that heavy hit from Shane Ryan on McGuigan, and when he was obviously venturing forward. A couple of other instances as well. Just looking at it here, Michael McMullen says class stuff in HQ. Derry 111, Kerry 1A. Brilliant stuff altogether. On Clifford, obviously, our good friend says what a battle this is. 2 brilliant teams playing out a brilliant contest. Grip and matchups all over the pitch. And we've obviously a lot of ads come up here, unfortunately. But what a match, says Justin. Derry lead the Kingdom by 3 points. 4 clear goal chances in the first 6 minutes. 2 teams going very much at it. I'll tell you what, we'll have a look at Poacher's tweet there, and we'll see exactly what he had to say. But yeah, to be fair, he is a man normally for a few controversial opinions, and he says here the deliberate targeting of Shane McGuigan in this first half has been an absolute disgrace. This whiter than white image that's always painted about Kerry needs reviewed. If an Ulster team was at that carry on that Kerry are at, there would be some outcry on the Sunday game. And just looking at, someone responded and said what exactly was done to him in the first half with question marks. And Poacher says, come on, Gerard, aside from the late hits, there's plenty of goading, sledging, and off the ball stuff going on. As I said, if she was on the other foot, there would be some outcry. And look, to be fair, like they definitely are targeting McGuigan, like, and it's it's, look, I'm sure McGuigan's well used to it, to be fair to him, but it definitely has been a target. And I'm sure, like as I was saying, like if you can keep McGuigan out of the game and you keep him quiet and you get a reaction from him, that you go to stopping Derry potentially. But look, in fairness, McGuigan's winning the battle so far. He's kicked 4 or 5 points.
4 points so far, I think it is. Yeah, so he definitely is winning the battle. But like Kerry, like I think he is definitely targeting. You've seen and I've seen in the first half, and the amount of fouls he's got on him. Like Shane Ryan's point, it was a brilliant point, and nothing taken away from Shane Ryan in general. But you've seen and I've seen it. I thought that was a foul on him. That was just a. It was a foul in a certain area. Then it was Jason Foley fouling him, and Clifford with the kind of rough challenge of it as well. So that's 3 challenges, So maybe there is a point there that Poacher is making in general, but there is an argument as well. Derry are targeting David Clifford, and you're always going to get that. You're always going to get that. We always knew it was going to happen. But Poacher makes a very interesting point, actually, to say that Ulster teams are always get called out for it, and Kerry don't. I think that's an interesting point. I don't know what you think about that yourself, Aaron. I better not comment on it because I'd be called biased or whatever, but I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, to be fair, like I'm a Dublin man, so there's probably a bit of a bias along, rivalry obviously there as well. Like I think we both probably have as much dislike for Kerry as one another, in fairness. But yeah, look, to be fair, like there is that element in their game, like obviously with Paddy Tally coming in, who was part of Tyrone. It's like there definitely is heavy hits, going out left, right, and centre and everything else. And to be fair to McGuigan, he's handled it very, very well. But we'll just have to see how it goes in the second half. But in fairness to Derry, like Paul Cassidy, I think has been very, very good. Garrett McKinless has obviously got the goal. Just having a look here on Scorebio, like Porrick McBrogan obviously got himself a point as well. Like so, it's like Derry, to be fair, even outside of McGuigan, have done very well. Like they're still getting a lot of scores even outside of McGuigan.
They are, and that's the main thing for Derry. We didn't think they would at the start of the game, and they have. In fairness to them, I think they've done admirably. In fairness, Derry without McGuigan's major threat, but even without McGuigan, they've scored. McGuigan has scored 4 points, 3 from play. He's hit 80% shot accuracy. I think he's done brilliant at fairness, but the others are stepping up to the plate. We talked about Conor Glass and Brendan Rodgers before today. Can they perform at the big stage? Especially Rodgers, Aaron. I think he's been on the match so far. I think he's been absolutely superb in the middle of the field, and he's definitely targeting Dermot O'Connor. Dermot O'Connor is getting frustrated by him, so it'll be interesting to see how the second half progresses. Now, will Rodgers run out of steam? Will Glass run out of steam? Will the likes of Garrett McKinless and Kerry will take over? Like, it's going to be very interesting as the second half nearly begins now. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see if Derry can keep this form up in the second half.
Yeah, Shane says here we're at it here. Derry will win by 7+. So certainly the Derry fans fairly confident going into the second half. Han says the ref played 2 minutes extra. John says Kerry are a very cynical team. Why is the ref not punishing this kind of play? And you know what? Like, it's kind of interesting because like online on social media, like there was so much outcry about Dublin cynicism last night, and Dublin were being so cynical, and there was plenty of comments obviously in the match reaction yesterday, and even in the comments after the video, like saying that the referee wasn't punishing Dublin cynicism. And I watched the game back this morning, and to be honest with you, I didn't really see a whole pile, but there was huge outcry about Dublin. So like I certainly hope the same consistency is there from neutrals and everything else about Kerry in the first half. And to be fair, look, there does seem to be a bit of an outcry from the likes of Poacher and in the comments and everything else. But it does go to show that Kerry can be as cynical as the rest of us at the best of times.
Exactly, and like they were against. You remember the game against Cork? Like they fouled a lot in that game. I think they had over 20 fouls, and Maybe like Stephen O'Brien comes on now for Kerry, so that's going to be very interesting to see how he gets on this game. I'm not sure actually who came off, but I'd imagine looking at the team, Adrian Spillane might come off because he missed a sitter in the first half.
He
But we'll
did,
see
yeah.
who comes on. But yeah, Stephen O'Brien coming on. Maybe this is the time where he's shining because he's been, unfit for most of the year. He's been injured at the start of the year. So it's going to be very interesting to see if he turns it on now in the second half. You know he can, but will he catch up with him and in this game? Because I don't know how old is Stephen O'Brien. He's 30 surely. So it's going to be a big game for him coming on.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, and to be fair to Stephen O'Brien, like he's a very explosive player. He's very quick. He's very sharp on the ball. He probably has had a couple of injuries in the last couple of seasons, so maybe he's lost a yard of pace. But he'd be a good man to bring on, I think, because he could just run into that space, run between the lines. He could draw a foul or something of that nature. Jeremy O'Connor wins the throw in at the start of the second half. That could be a big psychological boost there from a Kerry perspective. But yeah, it'd be interesting because look, Kerry came out all guns blazing against Tyrone in the second half. Be interesting to see if they can do something similar. Obviously, Kerry were leading in that game by a point at half time. They trailed by 3. But I suppose a lot has been made of the so-called third quarter, Dublin, Kerry. This is really when these teams come alive. And this will be a big test now for Kerry for Derry. Can they get through the next 15, 20 minutes? And can they get to the next, can they get to the final 15, 20 minutes, 10 minutes in front? That'll be huge.
It will be definitely, as we predicted correctly. Adrian Spillane was the guy that went off for Stephen O'Brien, and probably deservedly so. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see if Derry hold them out. They seem to be in their defensive structure early on in the half. Like, they're broke here, Kerry. Gavin White's in, and
here comes David Clifford. He only needs one chance, and it looks like he's put it over. Yeah. Tell you what, like David Clifford just nearly carrying Kerry here to this. Like if they do go and get through, like the little hop there as well, like they're just taking it around his man, like absolutely brilliant stuff. And yeah, like it's probably one of them for Derry and for McCaig and everything else. They're probably just looking at it and thinking, look, we'll just let Clifford do his thing. And to be fair, like Clifford was phenomenal in the first half, and Derry were still leading at 3 points at half time. So they're probably looking at it and thinking, like, we'll just let Clifford do his thing and hope that we still do enough to come through and get the victory.
Yeah, I think that might be the mindset for Derry to go on and win this game. Do you think this was risky, actually, Aaron, with Oran Lynch coming all the way up, and they've turned it over Kerry again? Like, they're winning in the game. I don't know why they're doing this. So I know they've done it earlier on in the year and stuff like that, but like, especially with at this stage, at these high stakes, and Kerry just kicked the ball. Wow, Paddy Clifford, I think it was.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And that was it. That's just a let off, isn't it, for Derry? Like, because another turnover. And as you were saying, like, oh yeah, I don't think Oran Lynch really is a sweeper keeper. Like, he doesn't really, I don't know, like I don't think he's quick enough for. He does seem to make more mistakes than I think Rafferty and the likes of Kerry have turned the ball over again, by the way, here. So that's 2 turnovers in a row, and they obviously won the initial throw in as well. But here they come, they play it in. Clifford on McCaig again. It's over the bar, yeah. It's a great point from German or Sean O'Shea. There we go. His first point of the game.
Yeah, a long time coming, wasn't it? Sean O'Shea. And the thing is with Sean O'Shea is interesting actually, because he kind of drifts out of games in one half of football, and then he's exceptional in another half. He was anonymous in the first half, so let's see how he does in the second half. It's going to be very interesting to see that point of view. As Derry win another kickout, like 14 kickouts, 1 out of 15 for Derry, which is massive. They've only lost the one, the first long one that went long, and Dermot O'Connor won it. But since then, Derry have won every kickout, so that's going to be key as well. But they have to stop doing this, Aaron. Oran Lynch coming out. I know they've done this in previous games, but it's going to catch them, I think.
Yeah.
It caught them against Galway. It's going to catch them again.
Yeah, no, definitely will. Like, and that's the thing. I think Derry are being a lot more passive in possession here so far. Like at the start of the second half, they're just keeping the ball, slowing down the tempo, everything else of the game. You'd wonder, is it a bit? It's probably still a bit too early to do that, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, we will update the score. It is Derry who are leading 1-11 to 110. They're leading by a point at the start of the second half. Derry are in possession here. This could be a huge moment if they can get their first point of the second half. And play it inside. That's a big turnover there. The right idea to play it in, but just not enough pace on the ball. Might have been Gavin White maybe who got that turnover.
Looking now how many Derry players are going to go back. There's one left over and the rest are going back. Wigan left up the pitch. Oh no, he's going back now. So they're trying to stifle Kerry. But I think this is a very dangerous game. Like if you have a good healthy lead, Aaron, the incentive surely is to push on and get more. But Derry don't seem to be doing this at the start of the second half. And it's a dangerous tactic.
Yeah, as the old says here, greetings from Mexico is a great game. It certainly is. And I'd imagine you're watching it on GA Go if you're watching from Mexico. So hopefully the stream holds up well for you. And yeah, it is. It's been a great game so far, I have to say. Like, it's definitely been more entertaining than what we would have anticipated. Like, you are seeing Derry probably playing now more like we maybe would have imagined in the first half. But I do think Derry need to keep at what they were doing in the first half, because that was what worked. And they need to keep running at Kerry. I know that ball they played inside didn't work the last time, and they got turned over. And I think they've been turned over 3 times in this, or 3 or 4 times in this second half. But they just need to stay patient and keep doing what they were doing in terms of attack anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But they turned another one over there. It's kind of you have the ball. Like, Kerry are making some sloppy errors as well in this half, despite getting them 2 first half, second half. Oh, Lynch turned it. Oh no, he hasn't.
Yeah, he got to get away with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he has the pace to be playing that role.
No, I don't think he does. Even the pace to get back when disaster strikes. He did it against Galway. He didn't have the pace to get back then. So, geez, like a Derry player, a risky game here.
Yeah. It does give them that extra man though. And I suppose if he is playing those type of balls and playing it safe, I suppose it's all right. But it is just one of them. It's risk reward, and I suppose at this stage of the season, that's what it's all about. That's brilliant play there from Derry. Is that one going to go over the bar? It is. That's a brilliant score there. Fantastic point. Conor Doherty. Big score there for Derry, just to kind of calm the nerves and settle them down in the second half. Because obviously they've been turned over on numerous occasions, so they needed something there just to sort of get them going. And yeah, back to a 2-point game. So Derry lead by 2 points.
Yeah, and Conor Doherty is a crucial player of getting scores at the right times. He got one against Cork, in fairness to him, and that was a brilliant point there. And now Derry, that brings their tally of different scores to 8. That's incredible, I have to say, even though Kerry has a chance here. And that's gone wide again from, I think it's so
yeah.
That's 5 wides for Kerry in this game compared to Derry's 1. So that's a big telling point so far in the game.
Yeah, Kerry 110, Derry 112. Dublin is great was asking what the score was there. So yeah, Derry leading by 2 points to Kerry. So yeah, and obviously that effort goes wide from Tom O'Sullivan. And yeah, to be fair to Derry, there was a bit of a worry at the start of the second half there that Kerry were turning Derry over. Clifford was getting a score. Obviously, Sean O'Shea gets on the score sheet as well. So there was a bit of a worry. But here comes Brendan Rodgers. Is he going to pop it over as well? He hits the post. Where's the breaking ball going to go to? It's going to go to Kerry. First miss on the wall there for Derry. Won't go down as a wide, but I suppose it was a missed chance.
Yeah, that's only their 4th miss of the day, in fairness. They have been accurate, but the off the post isn't that bad in general. It's that's as close as you could get to a point. So
yeah, and it would have been a brilliant score as well from Brendan Rodgers. It was a tough angle.
Is that a free in?
I think the ref has given it as a free, yeah. Be interesting to see that again. Yeah,
Derry.
I don't know. I think he's bought that. I think he's definitely bought that. He's definitely bought that, in my opinion. You could argue there probably was a tug on the back of him, but I think he knows what he's doing there. He kind of jumps to the ground and probably buys it. So, but here we go, Clifford again. You'd imagine he pops this over, and he does. Yeah, I think it might have hit the post on its way there, but it does go over. 111 to 112.
7 points now for Clifford. So 1-4 without David Clifford in the team. And that's and compare that with Derry. Derry have scored 1-8 without McGuigan. McGuigan's influence. So Derry as a team have probably performed better today than Kerry have as a team. Like if Kerry out, I'll put it this way, then Clifford is a stonewall man of the match. You know, so it's going to be. Yeah, Kerry, they have to step up. Like Gainey, with that very poor solo, he's done very poor. Gainey, O'Shea, they've been anonymous so far today, Aaron. So
yeah, they have, and look, like as a Dublin fan watching on, like I'm looking at this and thinking like I probably wouldn't fear Kerry that much, but here comes Derry on the attack. They needed to play the ball in there. Is that over carrying it? It's getting chaotic. Like there's a lot of kicking on the ground here. Surprised the referee didn't call it there and just throw the ball in, but Kerry have got away with it there. Looked like they might have been over carrying maybe in the build up, but yeah, that was a bit chaotic.
Oh yeah, jeez, like if they got that goal, Derry, wow, it would have been a 4-point game after that. But in the end, no, Derry conceded a free. Chrissy McCaig again. What will they do with Chrissy McCaig now? Because that's another foul. And I'm just seeing who missed that chance there.
Yeah, just looking at it here, it was Garrett McKinless running through, scoops it back.
Number 10, I think it was Niall Toner, tried to get it in. He was trying to bury it in, but heart in the mouth stuff for Kerry fans.
Yeah, that was a big moment. Like, and this could be a big moment. You're talking about a 4-point swing there, like, and a matter of moments if Sean O'Shea can pop this one over and bring the game level.
And he do it. He did the similar one against Dublin last year. If he brings this game level now, Derry have to come out.
Yeah, to be fair, this is probably a little bit further in. And he's hit the post. He's hit the post. Wow. I'd literally prepared the score for it to be 112 to 112, but not the case. Not the case. Could be a big moment now. Derry looks to go down the other end. Connor Glass playing it into McGuigan.
Like if Derry could go into the last 10 minutes a point in front, that'd be massive, because then they could do the parking in front. Even better if they go 2 or 3 points in front, because Kerry have to score a goal then. But Derry have a shot there. Is that going over?
I think it's wide, is it? Okay. No, wide.
It's wide by Conor Doherty.
Yeah. That's a big one as well. I know Derry haven't kicked many wides. Like that's probably what their second wide in the game, but I just think like opportunities like that, like they really need to be doing better. Whoa, Jesus, Oren Lynch is.
My God,
he's gone down as well. I don't know what's happening there. That's a bit like in FIFA where you press the Y button and drag the keeper out by accident. I have no idea what happened there. He's in absolutely no man's land. He wasn't even in the goal.
Yeah, it was like literally he was walking back to the goal. And it was oblivious to what was happening. Oh my God! Like that was, we talked about heart and water stuff from Kerry down the other end, but wow, that was pretty pretty nerve-wracking from the Derry point of view. As Conor Glass gives the ball away now, and Kerry on the attack.
Yeah, both sides just giving the ball away, being a little bit sloppy. But here come Kerry.
That's going over.
Yeah, it is over. That's a great score. Great point from Sean O'Shea. So he's turning on in the second half, in fairness, Sean O'Shea.
Yeah, he turns it on in one half, but he doesn't do it in the other half. He's definitely performing in this half anyway, and he's dragging Kerry back into the game. So yeah, it's a big last few minutes for Derry, and I think bringing Oren Lynch out, like it's a risky move, and Derry they're paying for it now.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kamikaze stuff. What Oren Lynch did there, before the Sean O'Shea punch, just walking back to the goal, like, and he's doing it again. He's walking out of the goal again. Like,
yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know if he's injured. Like, because even after that instance there, like, he looked like he went down. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Whether it was an injury, maybe he might be carrying an injury. But that looks like a big turnover there from a Kerry perspective, is it, or is the ref called a free for Derry? Free in, yeah.
Jason Foley again. That's the second time he fouls McGuigan. So
McGuigan back in.
I don't like this. I really don't. But if he gets this and shut me up, I don't. He doesn't get it.
No, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to have the pace. Like he got dispossessed very, like, and I think it's like I can understand obviously why they're bringing him out. And look, he's trying to be that extra man. And to be fair, he is when he's in possession and he's playing passes, he's doing all right. But I just think he's trying to do a bit too much at times, and it is costing his team. But this could be a big moment for Kerry. Could they take the lead for the first time in a while in the match? Or if Derry got a turnover there, they have got a turnover, big turnover there from Derry. Risky ball, bit of a hospital pass inside there. Was that Clifford? No, it wasn't Clifford.
Jack Barry, I think it was.
Barry, yeah.
Speaking to Jack Barry there. But interesting stat now, the shot conversion rate is level on both sides. 13 out of 20 from both sides. So Kerry are definitely turning on in the second half.
Yeah, and I suppose that's another one for the for everyone complaining about the hits on McGuigan. It's a heavy challenge actually by Jack Barry on McGuigan, in fairness. And geez, McGuigan's going to be sore waking up in the morning.
He is, yeah. That's 5 challenges now on McGuigan. And maybe you disagree some of the times in Porter, but I think in this instance, I actually think he's right arm.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, like look, he probably does come out with some mad stuff at the best times, but no, I think he is. I think he is right about this one. In fairness, to be fair, I think I was listening to him on OurGame.ie on one of their podcasts, and I think he predicted Derry to win this game. So, so look, he's, to be fair, it'd be interesting to see if his prediction comes off. But Brendan Rodgers playing it in. Derry are still being explosive. There's still power in a Kerry here, and a goal chance opens up. And it's a big save by Shane Ryan. Big save there by Shane Ryan. Wow.
That's a huge save.
You could argue, could he have been safe and gone for a point? But at the same time, like, goal chances against Kerry are huge. You have to go for it. And massive save by Shane Ryan. And then it was caught in the air as well by one of the Kerry defenders.
Jeez, if Kerry get a point down here, it's going to be a massive moment in the game. And they could be on course to do so. Let's have a look.
Yeah, they're just in possession here. Very well set up, though. Stephen O'Brien.
I've just seen as well, Aaron, the Benny the Goat has come on. He's come on for Patrick Cassidy, who actually came on in the first half. So
there we go. Yeah. I mean, we've seen Jay Buckley from the in-betweeners. Is that free there? No, he hasn't given it as wide. Yeah, it looked like there might have been a foul on Sean O'Shea, but to be fair, he might have maybe been looking for it. But yeah, we've seen Jay Buckley obviously send a good wishes message to Benny Heron last year, and it didn't really work. So maybe a year later it might pay off. But yeah, just looking at it there, a bit of a big hand on it from Shane Ryan. Paul Murphy was trying to throw himself in the way as well. He might have got a bit of a block on it.
Here comes Derry down the other end now. It's so McAvoy. If they get this,
wow, that's brilliant. Huge point. Yeah, that was a brilliant score.
And it is Kieran McFaul. Like, he's having a huge game on. Huge game. That's
this is brilliant stuff from Derry. Like, and you'd argue like Derry are just going toe to toe here with Kerry. Like,
and they're definitely getting the fruits of it. In fairness, like, we're into the final 20 minutes now. We're in this mark, and Derry are a point up. I don't think anybody would have predicted this going into the game. So it's fair play to Derry for even keeping with Kerry. So well done to Derry for that. As the ball drops in, and that.
Yeah, that was poor. That's poor. I think Clifford is giving out there. I think at his teammates, maybe. I don't even know if he's giving out with the ref or who he's giving out. I think he's giving out about the ball that was put in. Like, it's one of them. Like, you don't really see them balls too often anymore. Like those direct sort of balls. I know Meads, to be fair, do that quite a lot. They actually didn't do so last year or yesterday. They were actually a lot more. They kept the ball a lot more. But it was just a bit of a risky ball inside into Clifford, and there you have the ball again.
Yeah, and they're keeping the ball. They're doing keep ball. In fairness, Kerry are trying to get defenders back. I think Clifford's the only guy up there, and they're just putting the other guys back. It's actually Paulie Clifford that's up there. David Clifford's coming back and defending, which is interesting. But yeah, I'd say, geez, it's going to be a mad few minutes for Derry now. If they can get another few points, They'll be in it. And here's McKinless again. Oh, that's a poor pass.
You
Poor
seen what he
pass.
was trying to do, yeah. You seen what he was trying to do, but it was just. I think he should have gone for the point there. Like Derry don't. I can see like the opportunity. There is spaces opening up, and that you can see there's a goal chance in it for Derry. You can see there's an opportunity for them. But I think in those instances, you take the point because like you don't Derry don't necessarily need a goal really. Like like I can see why they're trying to work that opportunity and the sort of backdoor cut and everything else. But here goes
No, Kerry
Clifford.
wide.
Wide is it or is it over? Kerry fans seem to be
Wide.
celebrating. No, wide. Yeah.
Wide.
Yeah.
His first
What?
he's human.
Yeah, he is human after all. He is human. It is interesting. Like I know a few fans yesterday were saying Hawkeye obviously wasn't in use yesterday, and there was probably a few instances where maybe it could have, and Hawkeye not in use so far. You'd wonder is it even working? But we'll see.
And Tony Brosnan's on now for Paul Gainey. This is an interesting move. Like Tony Brosnan, he's waiting for an opportunity to prove his worth in Croke Park. This is a big one. And Brian O'Buglee's now on for Paul Murphy. So that's an interesting move. So Kerry are making the moves here.
They are. And just to remind people of the score going into the final 15 minutes, Kerry 112, Derry 113. And to be fair, like it's Derry have led for the majority. Like Derry have led since the 25th minute or something like that, around that sort of stage. So like Derry have led for the majority of this game. And yeah, like that, it definitely has been a surprise. Like when you think of, like I always anticipated Derry and Kerry would be closer than the Monaghan Dublin game, but this is McFell. I think he's put that wide. Yeah, he's just drifted that one. Like that's two chances there. Obviously, McKinless giving the ball away. McFell puts one wide. Like against the likes of your Kerrys and Dublins, you need to be ruthless. In fairness,
you do. And Derry are kind of missing a few chances now at the crucial stage of the game. Like at one stage it was 80% shot accuracy. Now it's 60%. Does Derry win that kick out?
Yeah.
Crucial.
Brendan Rodgers again. Tell you what, Rodgers might be putting himself in footballer of the year territory with a performance like this.
He is
Can Derry get something from this now? That'd be huge.
Playing it around, they're trying to wait for the best opportunity. I hope no Orange Lynch doesn't come up for this because it's stay in the goal, But here comes Derry again.
You will, there
we go. Wide, I think.
Yeah. Wide. Yeah, they're getting chances. They're getting opportunities, Derry. They're just putting a few of them wide. They're getting turnovers. I think they just need to keep doing what they're doing and hopefully take the chances. But yeah, Gavin says here, will Jack O'Connor be able to do back-to-back? I mean, look, he hasn't done back-to-back as a Kerry manager, I don't think. And obviously, you think of Kerry, or you think of back-to-back in general. It's only been done twice since the turn of the century. Kerry in the 2000s and Dublin 6 in a row. So it's rarely done. But look, Kerry still have 13 minutes to put it right, and there is only a point in it here, in fairness, and they might end up scoring from this opportunity they have now.
Question for you, Aaron. Do you think Kerry could score a goal in the last 13 minutes?
I don't know. They haven't, like Derry just look like you're looking at Derry here. There's just no space, is there? There's no space, and Stephen O'Brien now going for it. Jeez, it doesn't even hit the target, and Derry turn it over. See, that's the thing. Like without Clifford, like I know Sean O'Shea's looked all right, and looking at it there on the RT screen, looking at the graphic, 10 minutes without a score for Kerry, and Derry are now breaking on the counter attack, and Kerry have left a bit of space in behind if Derry can work the ball quickly, but they've decided not to.
But we didn't expect it to be this close coming into it. And Derry, their credit, even close in this game. But here come Derry again. Can they get a shot away? Here's McGuigan.
Into the space. It could possibly have worked a goal chance there, but he'll take the advantage. Yeah, I don't know if he would have. Like, would he have been able there to turn and
set
it up? Yeah, I don't know. Look, to be fair, I think Derry will. Benny Heron being talked to there, but I think Derry will take this. Look, they'll pop this one over the bar. They'll take their time with the free, and they'll try and slow as much down. Is Darragh Moynihan going off? Is it?
Yes, yeah. Miall Burns is coming on from Dr. Crooks. So again, another lad like Tony Brosnan hasn't performed in the big stage. This is a chance for now. And McGuigan, he surely put this over. If he puts him wide, oh my God.
Yeah, no, this is
Yes.
bread and butter stuff, isn't it? And he does,
Yeah.
pops it over the bar there. So 2 points with 10, just a little over 10 minutes to go. Like, there might be a few minutes of injury time. I'd imagine there was 5 minutes yesterday in Dublin Monaghan, and I didn't even know where those 5 minutes came from, to be honest with you. But look, we'll see what happens.
Here's a super sub, Lachlan Murray. He's coming on for Derry, and I'm just going to see who's going on. It's Niall Turner. So he's a guy that has a goal or a point in him. He got a goal against Galway in the semi-final last year. So big man to bring on at a big moment.
Yeah, there we go. 2 points. And the more the game goes on, the more Kerry are struggling, the more they're struggling to get Clifford into it, the more you think, like, Derry, like, it's looking likely here. Can they win this kick out? They almost did. They almost did there. Rogers it nearly again, I think it was. He's been absolutely everywhere. Kerry need a point here now from this possession. Like, they need something. 10 minutes without a score. Over 10 minutes without a score. Like, they need something here.
Will they get it, though? Like, Derry, I see it, Aaron. They're really packed defensively. They're frustrating life out of Kerry. There's O'Brien. Like, Kieran McFaul's back there.
Yeah, there's no way in. There's no way in. I feel like the only way in for Kerry is just try get the ball to Clifford. Try get it to Clifford and then let him do his thing. Here goes Michael Burns, is it? Miles wide. Kerry are panicking here. They're panicking, and I am getting a few flashbacks from 2014 a little bit here now.
For the Dublin Donegal game?
Just a little bit, yeah. The way Derry, the way how they're set up and breaking on the counter attack and everything else, they're bamboozling Kerry a little bit here, but there's still a long way to go. There's Glass, is it completely free from Lynch's kick out?
I have to say, Derry they've won the kick out battle today. Derry, more than anything, win or lose the entire game, they've won the kick out battle, and that was key. And here's a chance now for Derry if they pop this over. Oh, what a miss!
That was a big one.
Ethan Doherty, that's a huge miss.
Yeah. And that would have put Derry 3 points in front, 114 to 112 as it stands. It would have been 115 to 112, and like a 3 point margin is huge, isn't it? Because then it just gives you that little bit of a safety blanket, and it means Kerry might have to start going for goals. But there's Paddy Clifford wins the breaking ball on the turnover. Here's David Clifford. Kerry need to work it quickly. They need to work it quickly, and they do work it quickly. And they put it wide again, and they're just panicking now. They're rushing. Like, that was a rushed chance. You could understand why they rushed it, because they needed something there. But I feel like Kerry are panicking a little bit here.
The last few shots, that one from Graham O'Sullivan before, and then the Brosnan one just now. Yeah, as you said, they are panicking under pressure, and Derry, they're trying to suffocate the life out of them. But I wish that Derry are missing chances as well. And Kerry, there's always the opportunity. Remember Mark Keene's goal. Remember Tyke Murphy's goal. Remember Kieran Martin's goal for Westmeath in the Tailteann Cup final. Yeah. There's always the opportunity for a late goal. Kerry, I think, need to, and Stephen O'Brien, they're getting frustrated as well, Aaron. Like Stephen O'Brien, you could see the reaction. Yeah. So I think the only option, as you said, put it into Clifford and he'd work his magic, or they need a big guy in the square. I'm just wondering, who do they have? Would you put Jack Barry inside the square for the last few minutes, or somebody like that, to try and get some joy?
Yeah. I don't think it's at that stage yet. I don't think it's at that panic stations just yet where you need to go for a goal. But I think it is. Like, there's about 7 minutes to go. Obviously, a 2 point game. Like, it is kind of getting close to that territory. And if Derry can, because Derry aren't in a rush here, and they're one of the best teams, as we know, to keep the ball, to slow it down. Like, Derry don't need to do anything here. Like, they can just keep this ball. We are seeing Kerry now trying to press Derry a lot more on the ball. Yeah, maybe not as much though. Like, I feel like they should try. Like, as soon as Oren Lynch gets the ball, like, someone should just charge him.
Yeah, because that's where you're going to get the turnovers, and that's where you're going to get a potential goal chance. I hope Lynch do not shoot here.
No, he's not shooting. The ball is going to call a mark. No, he isn't.
And Kerry turn it over.
Yeah, surprised he didn't call a mark there. That was definitely was that a push there?
They've turned it over. It's a brilliant turnover from Derry here.
There did look to be a push. I don't know, yeah.
fouls on the ground. I don't know. What is going on here?
There looked to be a push on
actually the shoulder last there.
Yeah. I'm not too sure what happened. A load of Kerry men falling on the ground. I don't really know what happened, but I'd say the ref is probably just going to throw the ball in here, you'd imagine.
Or is he giving a Kerry free?
Yeah.
Kerry free.
It's been a while since a Kerry score. How long has it been? It's been, has it been 15, 20 minutes?
12 minutes of the second half, so I'm counting now. 17 minutes.
Wow.
17 minutes.
17 minutes, yeah. Kerry are just struggling. And the problem is, like, Kerry are falling into the problems that they've had all year, which is outside of Clifford. They're not really getting any joy, and that, like, here we go.
There's loads of space here.
Go for it.
Oh, they could get a goal. Oh, they've locked it down.
Wow. They had to go for the point, or the ref has called it back for a free.
Yeah. Wow. Was this a free? I'll have a look now. O'Brien. Oh, to be fair, yeah. Yeah, it was a free. But Derry, there's 4 men charging the Kerry guy down. It's a credible defense.
Yeah, was it a free though? I don't know. That looked very soft. Like, didn't really look to me much in it. Like, it looked like he was kind of going down anyway and slipping, but there we go. You'd expect Kerry to get their first point in about 19 minutes here, and they do. Sean O'Shea slots it over. So, like, as much as Derry have been dominant, like, there still is a point in it. And they're not gone, Kerry.
As Kevin McStay said famously in 2013, Dublin Kerry, it's all about the next ball. And if Derry win this, it's going to be massive. But if Kerry win it, it's a chance to get up the field here. And Kerry are pushing up in the kick out, which is what they should have been doing throughout the game. And they've got joy out of it this time.
Here we go, yeah.
Crucial stage now. Here he is. Here's the moment. Here's David Clifford. Can McKay put him under pressure? Oh, he's turned him in.
Surely a foul, is it? I think it is, yeah. They popped the ball over anyway, I think. The ref has called it back for a free. There we go.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like, it's in these moments where the big teams, the champions, stand up. Like we've seen with Dublin Monaghan, like, it was fair. You know, there was only 1 or 2 points going into the final couple of minutes, and that's when Dublin pulled away. And this could be maybe where Kerry get the edge.
Yeah, and they're probably going to start this free like it's David Clifford. This is automatically a point. So level pegging, surely.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely preparing to have the score at 114 apiece, and it is. Yeah. There we go. Clifford pops it over. So Kerry are level. It could be extra time. We might be here for a while yet.
Geez, what time's your dinner hour?
Oh, I don't know. I think it might be a takeaway job later anyway. So whenever it is, it's finished. But yeah, no. Kerry win the kick out. They've just got a bit of confidence now, Kerry, like getting those 2 points. That Stephen O'Brien incident where he wins the free. That could be the turning point. But Derry, I think, need to just stick to the game plan because, look, they kept Kerry out for 16, 17 minutes. They just need to stick to the game plan and not panic, you know?
Yeah. Are they going to camp? They're just going to double mark Clifford and let the other guy shoot. As is the
that's a big score. Wow, Stephen O'Brien. Wow. Big score there from Stephen O'Brien and Kerry just standing up when it matters. And in fairness to O'Brien, he's made a difference, isn't he? He wins the free initially, that obviously brings them within a point of Derry, and now he's popped it over. He's made a big impact upon coming on, and Kerry lead for the first time in a long time in this game. They lead by a point. This is a big kick out. Kerry win the ball again, and Derry are on the ropes here now.
And this will always happen. Oh, they've turned it over. It's Rogers again.
Ooh. That's huge. Sean O'Shea.
Oh, Kerry has turned it over.
You just look at Kerry, like they've got the bite between their teeth now, and Derry look a little bit exposed. If you could play it to the left-hand side, you could set up a goal, but he takes the point instead. And
Clifford.
Kerry now are 2 in front. 2 in front.
Wow. Derry thrown this away, though. They have thrown this away.
Yeah, I don't. They've just panicked. And like it was Kerry that was panicking. Like I don't know. Could they have gone short from someone else kickouts? I don't know. Like, and Derry had chances. They had chances to go 3 points in front as well. I think it's some of those opportunities. So it's not gone. It's not gone. But...
Yeah. Oh man. Well, if they end up losing this, Derry will be absolutely kicking themselves. Now's the time to bring up Oran Lynch. I don't know why they did it earlier, but now is the time to do it. You know, and now he's out of energy. You see that game management from Derry was very, very poor.
That's surely a foul, is it? I think it is. Yeah, it is. They kick it short. And they go inside.
Here's Lachlan Murray. Lachlan Murray's in.
Oh, it's no.
Wow.
Something there. Jeez, that was a big moment, but they need a point. Like, it's not really. Is it at goal stage now? I don't know if it is. Yeah, probably. Probably is now. Yeah, probably is now.
But at that time, should just tap the ball over.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shane Ryan playing a dangerous game. Yeah, it's Kerry 116, Derry 114. Kerry minutes away now from their second All-Ireland final in a row from playing the Dubs, and Derry are exposed. Oh, Jesus.
And they have. Game over.
Derry have just completely lost their way here, haven't they, in the final couple of minutes? Sean O'Shea completely free. See, Derry are chasing the game, but I feel like they started chasing it a bit too soon. They should have just tried to keep it tight when it was a point or 2 points, you know? Because now it's at a stage where Derry do need a goal.
And number 19's on it. I'm not sure who this is. Jay Downey. Big player there. Yeah. Seeing who's going off.
They have had a few goal opportunities, Derry. They have had a few opportunities, but do they go for the point and hope to win the kick out?
Oh,
I sent it in there. It's gone for 45, has it? Or has it gone for a wide?
No, it's gone for 45. Is it?
Yeah. Not entirely sure. Yeah, it should be a 45, I think, yeah. But no, he's giving a goal kick. Go wide, yeah. That's a... I don't think Derry fans would be too happy with that one.
That was a big opportunity, and like all Derry need, one chance.
Yeah. Derry fans watching on in hope and agony.
Like this, Aaron, I hate this. Armagh did it against Monaghan as well. I said it on Clay James Brady's channel. This is time wasting clearly. Look at Shane Ryan there.
Yeah, like hopefully the ref is dead wide to this. Like, he needs to add on at least 30 seconds, if not more here. Like,
Sean O'Shea is supposed to go off. Where is he? He's still on the pitch now. Oh no, it's Paddy Clifford altogether.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Kerry are being as cute as anything here. Oh, there's a dodgy kick out there from Shane Ryan, and Derry nearly got a bit of joy from it. It's all or nothing now for Derry. They just need to throw everyone up, press everything, chase everything. They're going to leave themselves exposed at the back, but they need to take that risk at this stage. They need a turnover. Kerry probably just need to keep the ball, really.
And what's Lynch doing?
Does he just go for it? No. A point here for Kerry would like 100% kills it.
Or even if they put it dead and it's over. Or even if they keep the ball, which they're doing at the moment.
Yeah, like you'd imagine the ref will add on.
He has to.
30, 40 seconds probably.
Oh, they've dropped that shot.
There we go. There we go. They've one last chance. The ref has to allow the time. He has to allow the time. Here we go. They've worked it long. Kerry have a lot of men up the field here as well. So Derry, if they can work the ball quickly, they might just have a chance. And they've played it in. Is that the right ball? Derry need more men inside. They need more players to make the run. Is this just a Hail Mary? They have a man out wide.
Here we go. It's Ethan Doherty.
Oh no. Almost. That's probably it. That's probably it now. They nearly got it there, but
Kerry break.
I think that's it now. I think that's it. Oren Lynch is off his goal. He's just try and chip the keeper, maybe. David Clifford just keeps the ball now, I think. Risky ball. Does Oren Lynch get to it? He does. Does the ref allow it? Does he allow time? It looks like he's going to allow it, maybe. Derry might just have one last opportunity. Is that a foul?
No.
Looked a foul.
Looked a foul to me.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Kieran McFowle has gone down. It looked like he might have kicked one of the Kerry players in the process. I don't think he did it intentionally, but oh yeah, Jesus, Gary McKinless. He's very late there. Does he mean that? I don't know if he means that. I don't know. I think if the ref had seen that, he might have just thrown the ball in.
It's a yellow card for Stephen O'Brien. I'm not sure what that's for. But was late for McKinless, but I think Sean O'Shea did the same to Evan Comerford last year, if you remember on.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this is it. This will be the last hit. Like, there definitely can't be anything after this, you'd imagine. So I was nearly surprised the ref almost allowed that. I thought he probably would have blown it up there, but I suppose there was a bit of time wasting and stuff from Kerry players and a bit of time wasting here now as well. But this will be it. Can Derry get themselves a last-minute goal to take themselves to extra time?
Don't think they will, Aaron. I think their chance is gone, but it's worth it.
It's just you rarely do see these go in. You rarely do. Like,
yeah.
Kerry will have here. I'm not too sure exactly what we're waiting for here. If it's just McFell, maybe, or sorry, McKinless, maybe just receiving treatment or something going on. I'm not sure.
It's a weird one, actually. Like, Class and all them are sitting down and the scoreboard's still up. It's still on.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if something's maybe happened, off the field or something. Or I don't really know. Like, is there something going on coming up the Sunday game? Thought they were nearly gonna
take away the score there.
I'm just seeing there, like, this definitely does seem to be a lot of discomfort, maybe for McKinless, definitely maybe a big injury or something happened there. But yeah,
they're happy anyway.
They are. Adam says here, Fergie time. Whistle should have been blown by now. Yeah, I mean, look, we're in the 7th minute, but look, the free obviously took place in just towards the end of the 5th. I mean, was there?
No, but this is the last play. Or the last play.
Yeah. Was there an extra minute? I don't know. It probably was, to be fair. I think some of the Kerry players probably were wasting time. Ref obviously just telling Shane McGuigan what's going on. Here comes the sub. Imagine he's the one who gets the goal now, super sub.
That would be just mad.
Fairy tale stuff. Here comes Ben McCarron.
But in all seriousness, why you bring on McCarron? No, we're the 8 minutes of added time. What's the point of it, Darren? Seriously.
Yeah. I think it's just because of McKinless's injury, I think that's the reason.
Yeah. Here we go. Here's McGuigan.
Here we go, yeah. The last play. The Hail Mary ball. The Derry fans can barely watch. I'm nearly nervous for them here. Yeah.
It's taking a while over.
Yeah, after a couple of minutes, we're finally going to get the ball thrown in here. We're just waiting for McKinless to leave the pitch. nervous stuff. I'd say if you're a Kerry fan watching on, you're nervous because you're thinking, just get it over and done with. Derry fans probably nervous as well. Like,
But Derry want to
here
keep
we
it
go.
going. This is a no.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh,
What's
it's
he
gone
doing?
over.
What's he doing?
I think he mishit it. I think he mishit it. I don't think he meant that. I don't think
they're
he meant
shaking
that.
hands, but that's it.
That's it. The whistle blows. Yeah, the whistle blows. So it finishes Kerry 117, Derry 115. I don't know what was happening there with Shane McGuigan. He puts it over the bar. Like, he clearly didn't mean it. Like, you see his reaction instantly. Like, and he was chatting to the referee. The ref surely would have told him. I don't know how. Like, he must have overhit it by accident or something happened. Like, McGuigan's just standing there and he looks bewildered and he doesn't know what's going on. But there we go. Kerry have won the game, 117 to 115. We'll update that score in just a brief moment. Kerry are in the All-Ireland final. They will play Dublin. It will be the 16th All-Ireland final between Kerry and Dublin, the 33rd championship meeting between Kerry and Dublin, the El Clasico of Gaelic football, as we very much know it will happen in a couple of weeks' time. So, yeah, look, I mean, overall, thoughts on the game. Kerry, I suppose, like, ever so slightly deserved it maybe, but like, Derry were so close, and on another day, Derry had that game.
They did, and I think it was a missed opportunities from Derry clearly. I thought they missed a whole host of opportunities. There was a chance to put it to base 3 to 4 points, but they just didn't do it. And Kerry seemed to be on the ropes, but they got over the line. But I think they were lucky today, Aaron. I think they were incredibly lucky. Derry were probably, like, Dublin went out of through sheer brilliance last night. I don't think Kerry did today. So, look, going into the final, I think Dublin are probably going to be favourites going into it. But Kerry were probably lucky today. They'll get over the line. They'll go back to the drawing board during the week. But Derry will absolutely feel sick after that result there, and especially with the Wigan one, I don't know what went on through his head there. But look, Kerry in the All-Ireland final again, and yeah, it's Dublin Kerry El Clasico final again.
Yeah, and like, looking at the Derry players, they just look like they're in shock. They don't even look distraught or upset. They just look in absolute shock. And like, they led for that game for the vast majority. Brendan Rodgers, outstanding game. McGuigan obviously getting himself into the big moments. But one thing you do have to give Kerry credit for: 114 to 112 down going into the final 5 minutes. And Kerry hadn't scored for about 17, 18 minutes. Kerry were struggling. They couldn't get their players into the game. They were struggling to get Clifford into the game. It looked like they were panicking. It looked like, they were getting, it looked like the occasion was getting the run of them. But as we've seen with the best teams, like, the big teams step up in the big moments. And that's what's happened. Kerry have stood up in the big moment. Clifford gets himself a, big score. Stephen O'Brien was outstanding, wins a free, pops one over himself as well. And Kerry get the job done.
They do, yeah, but at the end of the day, Aaron, were they lucky with that Stephen O'Brien foul? Like, if that was the other way, like it's fine margins, fine margins. I know, I'd say Kerry were lucky to get the win today, but I will say Derry should have put it away sooner than they did. They had a few chances. There was one from Lachlan Murray in the half. There was another from Brendan Rodgers, I think it was. They had a few crucial wides in the second half, and they just didn't get over the line after that. So, yeah, it's a tough one to take for Derry. They were probably deservedly beaten last year. They probably weren't this year, but they'll have to go back to the drawing board now, because like, that would be a hard one to take for Derry fans. Clifford, I seen, got man of the match, and deservedly so. We said this, even if Kerry came out and won the game, he deserved man of the match, because he was the guy keeping Kerry in it. And yeah, it was a good win, confidence booster maybe for Kerry just to get over the line. But performance wise, I think Jack O'Connor will have to go back to the drawing board before meeting up against Dublin again.
Yeah, like, and where do you think it went wrong from a Derry perspective? Like, to be 2 points up in those final couple of minutes, they were looking good. Like, they had opportunities, didn't they? Like, I remember McFell had one that went wide. They had that goal, a couple of half goal chances as well. Like, they had some huge opportunities and huge chances from a Derry perspective. And like, what was that? Was that how it went wrong, or what do you think?
It was definitely, like, because it was 80% shot accuracy in the first half. It went down overall to 57%. So that's a 23% drop off. Derry can only have themselves to blame for basically shooting themselves in the foot, I think, in this game. But Kerry, fair play. You said it during the live stream, like it's what champions do, and they are all Ireland champions for a reason. They pulled it out of the bag and they got over the line in the end. But yeah, you have to feel sorry for Derry in a way. They put so much effort into that game. They didn't get over the line in the end. But with 10 minutes to go, 2 points up, and they were going for goals. That was kind of a questionable thing from a Derry point of view, and that's probably where it went wrong for them. But all credit to Kerry for coming out with the win. But Derry, my God, I think they'll feel absolutely sick for coming out of that game. But what I will say, we thought before the game that it wouldn't be a contest, but in fairness to Derry, they made it a contest in this game, and you have to take your hat off to Derry for that alone.
Yeah, like, and even that chance at the end as well from McGuigan, like you'd wonder just what happened there. Like he's obviously clearly isn't going for the point. You know, it might have looked like he went for the point, but I don't think he is. Like, I think he knows clearly that there's, that this is the last play of the game. I mean, we're approaching the 9th minute of injury time, obviously, with the fact that there'd been a big delay in the stoppage with the injury of Garrett McKinless. So I think, it was such an anticlimactic moment because we were all sitting there waiting for the goal chance, waiting for the scramble, and in the end, it was just popped over the bar, and that was it. It was over.
Yeah, it was a very, very poor moment from McGuigan. But I just wonder, did the referee put it in his ear or did he misjudge it? But it looks at his face, I think he misjudged it. And it's unfortunate on Shane McGuigan, who had an outstanding year and had an outstanding game today, despite the Kerry pressure being put on him. But yeah, it's a really tough one to take for Derry. But they only have themselves to blame with the chances they missed. Not just that chance in particular. I wouldn't blame McGuigan solely on that, but there was a few other chances that Derry should have put over the bar and things like that. So yeah, I think Derry will feel absolutely sick after losing that game. But it is Kerry that march on in the end. But what I will say, Brendan Rodgers had an outstanding game today, and he kept Derry in it right to the bitter end. So he deserves credit in general for keeping Derry in it. But yeah, it wasn't enough, unfortunately, and Kerry march on with Clifford himself. But there is questions about Kerry in general. Are they good without Clifford? By today's showing, they probably aren't. So there's a lot of questions to answer before the All-Ireland final for Kerry, from a Kerry point of view.
There definitely is. And I suppose, as Mark says here, Kerry's defence needs to improve if they're to match the Dubs. Han says last time Dublin versus Kerry, Dublin trashed Kerry. They played each other a year ago in the semi-final, and Kerry won by a point with Sean O'Shea. I mean, look, I wish we trashed them, but unfortunately we didn't. It was Kerry who prevailed the last time out. Why was Sean O'Shea taken out, says Mark? I'm not entirely sure. I think it was the final couple of minutes. Obviously, Kerry were just trying to very much slow the game down. Mark also says, what's your take on the referee? And I mean, yeah, like McGuigan was probably targeted throughout. I mean, he's definitely going to wake up quite sore in the morning. Obviously, I think mentally right now he'll be hurting inside. Obviously, with the fact his team was lost, but like he'll definitely wake up sore. Like a couple of heavy hits to the head and everything else, and a couple of heavy challenges put on him. But yeah, like obviously when we were discussing the halftime, like there's plenty of chatter on the cynicism of Kerry and some of the dirty tackling and everything else. And if it was a team from the north, everyone would be giving out about them. So, like, you'd have to say, like, there was definitely some heavy hits and heavy challenges thrown out towards McGuigan and some of the other Derry lads at times.
There was in general, yeah. And some of the Kerry fans were saying that the referee was very poor at halftime chat here. I'd be very interested to see your point of views at the end of the game. Were they talking about the referee at the end? Because Derry, a few decisions actually went against them, if anything. So, yeah, I think the referee, in general, though, I think the referee actually did okay. He tried to level it up as much as possible. But, yeah, the McGuigan targeting, that's the big thing. And a lot of people were talking about McKay targeting Clifford even before the game and during the game. But there is an argument as well. Like, there was 5 clear challenges on McGuigan, and there was a challenge on McKinless at the end from Stephen O'Brien. So there could be an argument for Kerry targeting the Derry players rather, and is people's perceptions maybe the other way around in general. So that's something to be thought about as well. So Derry might feel aggrieved over that, but at the same time, look, like if you miss chance after chance after chance when be 2 points in front, you've no one to blame except yourselves, and Derry are in that exact boat this evening, unfortunately.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. It's the same like with the Dublin Monaghan game yesterday. Like, as much as you can blame decisions, as much as you can blame this or that, I don't think there was anything definitively there. You could argue the Stephen O'Brien moment when he wins that free, like that was obviously a huge turning point in the game. You could argue that wasn't a free. Like, we'll definitely obviously need to see it back, but like this is what happens. Like, sometimes you get decisions, sometimes you don't. Like, at the start of the game, obviously McCaig is pulling Clifford's jersey. That probably should have been a free for Kerry, and it wasn't given. This is just what happens. Like, I think sometimes you get the decisions, sometimes you don't. And ultimately, I think from a Kerry perspective, they had that willpower, they had that inner strength to come through. And it's a sign of a great team. It's what the great teams do. It's what Dublin done in their 6 in a row spell. There'll be times, where we'd have to dig deep. We'd be behind going into the final couple of minutes of semi-finals, finals. We dig deep and turn it around, and like that is the sign of great teams. Even when the going isn't going right, that you have it within yourself to turn it around, and that is the sign of a great team, really.
It is when you haven't played well in general and you scored less than shots from play and stuff like that in your opposition, when you've lost the kick-up battle, which Kerry all did today, and they came out winning. So that was the main thing with the Kerry team today, and you have to give them credit for that. Would I consider them as a great team right now? They have to win an All-Ireland next in 2 weeks' time against Dublin for as far as I'm concerned anyway. So I don't know what you think yourself, Aaron, but I don't think that Kerry team is great at this particular moment in time. We'll have to see in 2 weeks' time now, but yeah, it should be interesting. But it's what maybe the top teams on a certain year do. They get over the line when things are going against them, and that's what Kerry did today, in all fairness to them. But to consider them a top, probably one of the great teams, I think they have to beat Dublin in 2 weeks' time. If they don't, maybe that work this season could be going down the drain for Jack O'Connor.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like, I think, yeah, like they obviously need to, the great teams obviously go and win back to back. And if they were to be beat by Dublin in 2 weeks' time, then yeah, you probably wouldn't consider them a great team. And look, you could argue if that was Dublin they were playing today, would Dublin have missed those chances going down the home stretch? Would they have been beaten in that way? Probably not. But then again, you could argue on Saturday, if Dublin were playing Kerry, that Kerry would have punished Dublin more and maybe been able to see the game out. Like, I think it's, both sides, Dublin and Kerry, have had very similar quarterfinals and actually very similar semi-finals. Like, Dublin weren't probably at their absolute best. I think Dublin were better against Monaghan than what Kerry were against Derry. And I think this game was a lot closer than Monaghan and Dublin. I know Monaghan and Dublin were like, there was only 1 or 2 points in it going into the final couple of minutes. But I think that game was over going into injury time, whereas this one was very much still in the ascendancy. Tom says here, Derry left it after them, too many missed opportunities. Also says McQuillan, a disaster again. Dublin is great, says Derry, threw it away. Jamie says a petition needs to be signed to prevent Joe McQuillan from being a ref during a game. So definitely a lot of heat thrown McQuillan's way. I don't really know. Like, I don't think he done a huge amount wrong, to be honest with you. But there we go. Derek says Kerry are beatable. Dublin will be up for it last year and ready to take them. And Kieran also says Derry are a better team than Monaghan. Yeah, ever so slightly. Yeah, you probably would say Derry are a better side than Monaghan, but yeah, that's how it goes. I mean, looking to the final, Kerry Dublin in a couple of weeks' time. Like, what do you think? What do you think happens there? Could Dublin win it? Could Kerry win it? I mean, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because like Dublin, like both sides have been brilliant in moments, but both sides have also been very poor in moments. So you feel like as a final, it could go either way, really.
It could, in general, and usually these Dublin Kerry clashes do, in fairness. But at this early stage, I would have Dublin as the favourites. I probably would have had Kerry as the favourites in the quarterfinals. But looking at this weekend's games, the way Dublin put away Monaghan, I think Monaghan actually didn't throw it away as such against Dublin. They plugged away and plugged away and plugged away, but Dublin still had the answers. I think today Derry threw it away and Kerry took advantage of that. Fair play to them. But in the current form at the moment, I think Dublin are favourites for the All-Ireland. I just think so. Look at the performances so far. I think they produced a very good performance against a decent enough Mayo team, a Mayo team that beat Kerry as well in Killarney, let's not forget. So I would have Dublin as favourites for the All-Ireland so far, but we'll have to see in 2 weeks' time as we get closer to the game. It should be an interesting game, all right? It's the El Clasico Gaelic football, but I think Dublin should have enough. At this early stage, I'd predict Dublin to win the All-Ireland in 2 weeks' time.
Absolutely. Kieran says, lads, let's talk about Kerry and Derry today. Dublin is the next game. We literally were. I don't know if you just joined or what happened there, but we've literally been speaking about the Kerry and Derry game for about 2 hours. So I'm not entirely sure if you've just joined there, but yeah, look, I mean, Kerry are playing Dublin next, so obviously there is an element of thinking towards that, because that's obviously the game on the horizon. But yeah, there we go. Like, I think Derry ultimately probably let themselves down in their missed chances in the second half. They were so clinical in the first half. They only had one wide. I think 2 wides maybe going into the final couple of minutes. They were very reliant on trying to go for goals. And I think Kerry just had that inner strength within themselves. And Stephen O'Brien coming off the bench made a huge impact. He made a huge difference to the game. And ultimately that was the big difference I felt to dragging Kerry over the line. And look, as much as you can look at decisions and everything else, I think, I think maybe McGuigan was targeted. Should McQuillan have done more there? Yes, but what can you do? You can't send someone off for something like that, like for one of those challenges. So, it is what it is. I don't think McQuillan, in my opinion, had a hugely bad game. I think there was decisions could have went either way, but there we go. On Clifford, our good friend says, well, lads, what do you think Shane McGuigan was saying to Jack O'Connor at full time? Yeah, I didn't really see what actually happened there. Like, I seen like they were kind of getting a bit close to each other, and then O'Connor went to shake his hand, and McGuigan took his time over shaking his hand, but eventually did. I don't know. Like, it's heat of the moment stuff, and when you've just lost an All-Ireland semi-final, you could probably say anything to anyone. So it's just one of them, really. Like,
yeah, exactly. I think Jack O'Connor is he's a bit of a, he says these things to players in general, like he tries to big up opposition and stuff like that. And I know I actually missed it, what the altercation was between the two at the end, but so I can't really judge on it. But like Jack O'Connor usually does it to players. Maybe he was saying, unlucky, you'll go again next year or something like that in general. But yeah, it's an interesting one to think of. I'll probably be watching that back after this live stream ends. But it's it's an interesting point there. I don't know what you think yourself, Aaron, what he said. Any ideas what he said? But obviously, you're seeing the altercation anyway.
Yeah. Before we finish up, then, who's winning the All Ireland in your opinion from here?
Dublin.
There we go. I mean, look, I certainly hope so. I mean, I don't know. To be honest with you, it's such a hard one to call. And look, we've got 2 weeks to break it down, so we won't make any decisions right now. I mean, Dublin probably maybe will ever so slightly be coming in as favourites. But look, Kerry beat Dublin last year. They are the All-Ireland champions. And look, we know Kerry, when they get going, how good they can be. And to be fair, Dublin have had numerous times this year where they haven't looked great, but then again, so have Kerry. So it's going to be a very, very interesting final. But yeah, look, we'll go ahead and wrap this up here anyway. Matthew, cheers very much for coming on. Commiserations for Derry supporters. Great win, obviously, for Kerry. You get the job done. 2 weeks' time will be the All-Ireland final. The scramble for tickets very much begins. And hopefully for Kerry and Dublin fans, they can get their tickets. They can get to go and see the final because, first All-Ireland final between Dublin and Kerry since 2019. And we very much know how Dublin and Kerry games usually go down the years. They go down to the wire. They go down to a final kick of a ball. And I expect it to be no different in 2 weeks' time. So, Matthew, cheers very much for coming on. Anyone who tuned into the stream, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. That would be absolutely brilliant. Leeds United. John says, thanks, lads. I enjoyed the watch along. Regards from Peterborough. Peterborough, very much. Thank you very much. And best of luck in promotion next season. Hopefully Leeds can get back to the Premier League. So there we go. Matthew, cheers very much for coming on. And anyone who watched, leave a like, subscribe, and we'll chat again soon.